The theme park ride that is the Big 12 hits a crossroad tonight in the state of Texas. For TCU, the talk of a conference title is right back on the table. If they win tonight, as Sonny Dykes has preached all week, there's no panic after an opening Big 12 loss last week. For Deion Sanders, prime time is in prime time tonight, and he's back in Fort Worth, where this all began as the head coach of the Buffaloes a little over 2 years ago.
This ain't got nothing to do with the naysayers, the unbelievers, the haters, the doubters. This is about us. Give me my theme music.
Touchdown, Colorado!
The one that you asked me, why would I give him the starting job? But like, no, not you. I got receipts. I know who they are.
Prime time. Deion wins his first one.
Yeah, we told you. You thought we was joking. And guess what? We keep receipts. God bless you, America.
For the record, he still keeps those receipts. Deion Sanders leading Colorado in here tonight in a blackout crowd for TCU and the Colorado Buffaloes in a huge Big 12 game as we welcome you into Fort Worth. I'm Connor Onion in for Jason Benetti with Robert Griffin III, Alexa Landestoy in a moment. We got to start with the quarterback for Colorado. Obviously, it's different the last time they were here. Shedeur Sanders to the NFL. Caden Salter trying to figure it out in this Colorado offense.
Yes, he is trying to figure it out. And he had his coming to Jesus moment a couple weeks ago, right before the Wyoming game, and he's been playing better ever since. And you know what that coming to Jesus moment was? He realized that to be a dual threat, I first have to be a single threat. This young man at Liberty was electrifying. He's one of 2 active FBS quarterbacks to have 60-plus passing touchdowns and 25 rushing touchdowns in his career. And when Deion brought him in, he said, I want that guy. Establish yourself as a runner first, and that opens up the passing game for this dynamic wide receiver corps.
The dual threat or single threat? We'll get into what that means as the night goes on with Caden Salter. For Josh Hoover, I know he's been on your Heisman list for part of this season, and he leads this TCU team out onto the field, back at home for the first time in the Big 12. So, Josh Hoover, he was born to throw a football. Sonny Dykes could not speak higher about his quarterback.
Yeah, and it's because of what you see on tape. I was falling in love watching this guy throw the football. If you like a quarterback who's got that gunslinger mentality and has a release quicker than Lightning McQueen, Josh Hoover is your guy. That's why he's second in the Big 12 in passing. And you'll see, his release is so quick, it's NFL level. And his decision-making makes this offense go. If he has his full gambit of weapons out there today, this is going to be a really exciting offense to watch because of that man right there.
Got to get him some racing stripes like Lightning. He's got 2 of his fast cars with him. Eric McAllister and Yorian Barnes are back tonight. That'll make things so much easier on first down with his top wide receiver, his top running back in there with Josh Hoover tonight. Tonight's game countdown is sponsored by Progressive. This was great theater the last time they played in Fort Worth 2 years ago. Can't wait to get it going next. It's the Buffaloes. It's the Horned Frogs on the other side. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Well, Alexa Landestoy is down in the field for us tonight. Alexa, as you saw with the walk-up, Deion Sanders back in Fort Worth for the first time in a couple years.
Yeah, Coach Prime telling us a lot of memories flash back in his mind when he stepped on this field, a place that he made his CU coaching debut. He said this time around, though, he's bringing a better team to Fort Worth. The only difference, he doesn't have 2 players on his roster that refuse to lose. Those 2 players being Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. He's still trying to find out who those guys are on this team. He challenged his players last night in the team meeting to write on a note card what you do best. He wants them to revisit that after the game and see if they execute that. He's asking his guys, don't do more, don't do less. Just do what you do best, and that will be enough to get the win. And Connor, they're hoping to get their first win in Big 12 play here tonight.
Well, Alexa, thank you. And you think about that, Robert, from Caden Salter's perspective, not having Shedeur Sanders now, what do you think he wrote on that note card last night?
Yeah, I think he wrote, I'm a dynamic quarterback with my legs. And that's what he has to come out here and do today, because that's what gets them the easy matchups in the one-on-ones on the outside. And they've got receivers that can win. That has been the most frustrating thing for this offense so far this year, getting it all rolling at the same time.
Well, they come into a cauldron, a packed house, a blackout theme, And a team that's in a bad mood, TCU, after they let one get away against Arizona State last week on the road in Tempe.
This is what we call a get your bike back game for more than one reason. Last week and 2 years ago against these Colorado Buffaloes.
Who's going to be Debo tonight? Off we go from Fort Worth. And it's through the back of the end zone for a touchback. And it will be Josh Hoover for the first time. One of the best passers in the country. Mentioned how he's been on your Heisman list, some others. He can play his way right back into that talk with a big game tonight.
Yes, he can. And what he does best, in my opinion, is he doesn't worry about the negative plays. We talked to him about last week's interception at the end of the game and the fumble. He said to himself, you know what? I made a bad decision, but I'm not going to allow it to make me come out here and not be as aggressive at the beginning of this game. This is who I am. I got to cut down on the turnovers, but we're going to throw that football around.
Not a reserved guy.
Not at all.
Just not in his nature. And he throws to open up this game and out to the flat. He hits Nate Palmer, who starts at running back. They do get Gworian Barnes back, but it was a little bit challenging for TCU on offense last week. Everything felt hard.
Yeah, it did feel hard, but you look at there in the middle, Colton Deary is their dog up front. And then at wide receiver, you see number 18, Ed Small, who will be starting in place of Eric McAllister, but expect to see McAllister a lot tonight.
Well, they motioned out DJ Rogers, their tight end, and he's close to a first down. He's a yard short against this Colorado defense.
Yes, and when you look at Colorado, the matchups on the edges, Arden Walker at defensive end going up against these TCU tackles is going to be a big matchup to watch as we got somebody down on the field right now.
They may have just lost one of those guys as Colorado has DJ McKinney in the back end wanting to get their corners rolling. It's been a struggling secondary the last couple of weeks. And you mentioned the tackles.
Yep.
How they're a little bit vulnerable, a little bit banged up there. Ryan Hughes, their left tackle for TCU, is the injured player.
This was already a position that the coaches at TCU felt like, hey, we're going to have to give these guys some help in this matchup. So when you lose your starting left tackle and now have to bring a backup into the game, it puts even more emphasis on those defensive ends. We're praying that Ryan Hughes is okay.
Well, we sure are. We'll step out and check on Ryan Hughes when we get back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. The opening drive of this game, and TCU saw their starting left tackle Ryan Hughes leave with the trainers.
Yeah. And now you're going to see them come in with Quentin Harris, number 54, to replace him.
And Sonny Dykes talked about the offensive line. They ran for only 10 yards last week and gave up 6 sacks. It was a group he challenged all week, and now they're shorthanded 2 snaps into the game.
Yeah, like I said, it puts more of an emphasis on the matchups on the edge, but you're going to see a nice little weird special formation here from Kendall Browse.
His formation's very simple in name, left and right, and they plunge ahead with relative ease for a first down and a third down.
Not quite a tush push, right? But nice little QB sneak. Nobody's mad about that. Maybe Colorado fans for sure.
We're going to call that one the, I don't know, the Hoover Hurry?
The Hoover Hurry, I love it.
Hoover Herd? I don't know. We'll workshop that. Hoover gets it out quickly, as he's prone to do. Ed Small, who you highlighted off of those lineups with his first catch of the night. It's a first down.
Yeah, and like you said, Ed Hall is going to have an opportunity here Small, to make plays down the field, and that's what they love to do. Hey, fake it away to the running back, get a ball right out to your receivers, let them feel a part of the game early so that they're not going 2-3 series into this game without touching the rock.
And Small has played a lot more the last week plus because of the McAllister injury. And the second touch for Rogers, the tight end, as Colorado rallies to get him past midfield. Kendall Briles, creative, one of the best pass play designers in all of college football.
Yeah, his offenses always rank in the top 10 to 20 offenses in the country. It's because of how multiple they can be. Right there with tight end DJ Rogers, they snuck him out, had him pass protect, and then he becomes a check down. This offense has answers for the quarterback, and that's why quarterbacks love playing with Kendall Browse as their offensive coordinator.
Him and Josh Hoover have been a great marriage. 2+ years starting for TCU. And another third down coming up as Nate Palmer goes for no gain. The offense for TCU, they were in a lot of 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. And they started hot, 17-0, before dropping it 27-24. And on this 3rd down, it flutters away out of the reach of Palmer. And here comes the first 4th down with McPherson getting pressure.
Would not be shocked if they went for this. Right there, Josh Hoover needed to just put that ball more on Nate Palmer, the running back. I think he got a little distracted, wasn't sure if the linebacker was going to get picked on that clear and apparent pick play. Give your receiver an opportunity to make a play on the ball.
Hey, here we go. 4th down decision, the first one of the night for TCU. And this play is blown dead. Timeout for Colorado. TCU is looking for McAllister, who was back from the hamstring injury. What Sonny Dykes has said, 4th down decisions are a quarterback decision.
Yeah.
This is how much they trust Josh Hoover.
Exactly, and you hit the nail right on the head. If you trust your quarterback, you know he's going to make the right decision with the ball. Right there, it's 4th and 5. You know, they called that timeout because they had Eric McAllister one-on-one on the backside. I think Colorado definitely doesn't want to see that, but they might have actually helped TCU there because Josh Hoover's throw was a little high right there for McAllister coming out of that break. But whenever you see number 1 in the game, because he's going to probably be on limited snaps, understand that they're going to try to make the most out of those snaps and get him the football. So Colorado's probably going to try to roll coverage his way so that Hoover doesn't have his favorite target.
Well, the tape from SMU, you know Colorado has seen that. Very, right? The whole country has seen it. Best receiving game in college football this year. Josh Doxson, the only guy in TCU history with more yards in a single game than McAllister 2 weeks ago.
So now you got McAllister down here to the bottom of your screen.
Hoover looks opposite of him, and it's broken up. Preston Hodge back in his home area. The Dallas native knocks it away and gets the ball to Colorado.
Woo! Preston Hodge doing what you're supposed to do at DB, which means when they press you vertical, you don't move your feet until they get you off your spot. Manjack never gets him off his spot. He rallies, makes that a very tough throw and catch. Preston Hodge is doing his thing. That's exactly what Coach Prime said he wants from his DBs. Guys that aren't afraid to get beat, but they're trying to make plays. Right there, Preston Hodge made it.
He calls it the 5%, right? 95% of guys are there so I don't get beat. 5% make plays. And Hodge does to get it to Caden Salter for the first time. One Texan makes a play for Colorado against TCU. Now another gets the stage. It's Salter, and he hands off in this improved running game for Colorado. Starts with Welch on the ground with a first down. Cedar Hill, Texas native Caden Salter. Bunch of friends and family here tonight.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Responsible for 86 total touchdowns since 2023. He's back home, and if there was ever a time for him to have the game that this entire fan base and this team has been waiting for, it would be in front of his people. You know he's ready to go tonight.
Pressure, said Deion Sanders, because of that responsibility being an hour from home tonight for Salter as quarterback. And they started on the ground, back-to-back carries from Micah Welch behind this Colorado offensive line.
And this Colorado offensive line is led by the man, Jordan Seaton. Saw him in the hotel last night. He was sweating. He's ready to go. This guy's determined to be one of the best offensive linemen in the country, and the stats back that up. Sincere Brown, number 9 at wide receiver. He's on a 2-shot minimum tonight, and we ain't talking about drinking. We're talking about those shots down the field for the big plays. He is a big play wide receiver, and they got to give him chances.
He was not at the Sigma Nu tailgate. Confirm that. Caden Salter on the move into coverage. It's picked off. Jamel Johnson the other way for TCU. Undercutting the route of Salter.
What a play right there by Jamel Johnson. Reading the quarterback's eyes, understanding what play needed to be made. And Caden Salter, don't throw to that man's zone. It's no fly. What's up, everybody? I want you to watch Jamel Johnson here. He is going to play this beautifully from the middle safety position. As they run this dagger concept on the backside, he's going to have his eyes fully on the quarterback and cut this, see the ball in the air, and cut it and beat the receiver to the spot. That is exactly what you want to see from a ball-hawking middle safety. Heck, Deion Sanders might want him on his team.
I mean, don't say that too loudly for TCU fans in the era of the transfer portal. That's the third pick he's had already. I don't know what's gotten into him. No picks his first 2 years of college football. He has 3 already, less than half a season in.
And Connor, he's absolutely been a problem outside the pocket for his own team right now. Only completing 24% of his passes outside the pocket. He has to see the field better.
Oh, good run stuff for Keaton Wade on a big night for the edges for the Colorado defense.
Keaton Wade, we talked about this. These guys on the outside have to take advantage of these matchups at the tackle positions. He gets inside, rips, gets to the back, gets him on the ground. That's the kind of TFLs and the impact they need from their edge rushers tonight in the run game and also in the pass.
Robert, remember, no Ryan Hughes, who went out 2 plays in. The left tackle for TCU. Hoover steps up and delivers a dart to McAllister, who's on the board for the first time, coming back from his hamstring injury.
Watch this from Josh Hoover. Look at his eyes. Just down the field, stepping up, doesn't feel any pressure. Boom. Puts it right on his face. We call that a face shot. They can't drop it if you hit him in the face.
And after McAllister, it's Trent Battle. After the face shot, it's a ground shot.
That's a good one,
for 11 yards.
I love it. And this is something that's been fascinating for me watching the tape of TCU. Their running backs, when they run outside the tackles, are averaging 4 more yards per carry than when they run inside the tackles. I know you'll say, hey, man, yeah, running outside's a lot easier to get done. But getting there and the process to which they get there, these backs love to bounce the ball. So the defensive ends for Colorado have to keep outside contained to keep them inside.
Well, I wasn't going to call you Captain Obvious. Thanks for clarifying that. Manjack through tackles, still on his feet. He has the first down and more inside the red zone for Joseph Manjack for TCU.
Woo, this is what we call a double screen play. You're going to see Manjack go here and whip back around underneath screen. The man that they say has no swag looked pretty swaggerific right there to me.
Well, Byard whiffed on the tackle, and Battle made a couple out of it. Alexa?
How important the outside will be. Not good news for TCU. Left tackle Ryan Hughes, who we saw leave the game during the last drive, spent some time with the trainer, just went down the tunnel on crutches. He was not putting any pressure on that right leg, Connor.
Oof. Yikes.
Yeah, we praying for Ryan Hughes, and it does put this TCU offensive line in a little bit of a predicament because they were already struggling at those tackle spots. So we'll see if Quentin Harris and this crew can make up for his loss.
Well, back-to-back runs, and this one in Harris's area. And nothing doing. It's third down coming up.
Man, you talk about these linebackers from Colorado. They are filling these gaps fast. And the defensive line is owning the line of scrimmage, which I know is a concern for TCU because last week against Arizona State, you talked about the fact that they only had 10 rushing yards. A lot of that had to do with the sacks that they gave up as well, but they just were not owning the line and getting pushback. So Colorado made a point this week to say, we got to make them feel a little bit of deja vu from last week.
But one exception to that was early drives in the red zone for TCU. Those were the times they could run the ball. They throw on third down. Now Hoover will take off. He's got eyes for the first down. And he is very close. Looks like he has it. Just enough for the first down. First and goal, Horned Frogs.
So we're back to our conversation about dual threat versus single threat. Right there, Josh Hoover said, I don't know what y'all talking about. I can run this pill too.
Palmer looked like he was tackled by his own guy. Curtis was out there trying to drag him forward. Second down.
Ball on the 1-yard line.
Well, Hoover, a very good improvisational player. Doesn't predetermine anything. and he knows Colorado has struggled to stop quarterback run. There should be some opportunities tonight.
Yeah, there will be, and when we talk to him this week, he understands, like, hey, yeah, they struggle with that. It's not really a part of my game that I focus on, but I can do it, and he will when he has to.
He gives, and Colorado with back-to-back stuffs on the goal line. The hand went to John Denman. And he was stonewalled. Keaton Wade and several others.
Yeah, you watch this whole middle of this defensive line versus the O-line, and watch how they snapping heads back. The running back has nowhere to go, and now we got another unique formation here from Kendall Browse and the TCU Horned Frogs.
Unbalanced? Yes. 5 out to the right, and a fluttering ball into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Flag is down. Through the hands of Sean Myers, who had a great chance at a pick. And out near that 5-man spread out wide, there's a flag down. Well, the flag was down mid-end zone, and it's going against TCU.
Pass interference. Offense number 24. 15-yard penalty. Go third down.
Oh, we see it. They're calling pass interference right here because this ball has to be caught behind the line of scrimmage in order for you to be blocking downfield. So when Hoover scrambled around and threw the football up down the field, now it becomes an illegal block.
So Joe Pitchford gets called for that. So the creativity ends up working against TCU in that way.
It does, and you look at Pitchford, he's like, what did I do wrong? It's like, well, the play didn't happen because Colorado played it so well, rushing up the field, immediately making Josh Hoover have to improvise.
So first and goal from the inch-yard line turns into third and goal, and Colorado rallies on Jordan Dwyer to force a likely field goal try for TCU. And they will bring the field goal unit out.
Oh, that was so close. So close to being an interception right there for Colorado. Dwyer kind of plucked that right out of the defense's hands. And now TCU will have to settle for a field goal.
Well, still no Kyle Lemmerman tonight. Third straight game. The regular field goal kicker misses. Out with injury. So Nate McCashland looking for the first points of the night for TCU. And from 30 yards out, it is no good. So first and goal from the 1. Back-to-back stuffs for Colorado. The penalty and a missed field goal. And we stay tied. Zip in Fort Worth. Three's Keys are part of our Keys to the Game, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, part of Marriott Bonvoy, a hotel brand for every kind of fan.
Yes, so for TCU, they have to embrace the darkness, commit to the run game, reclaim the line of scrimmage. You got to get at least 100 yards tonight. For Colorado, break the hero. What does that mean? Get 3 sacks and 5 TFLs tonight to win the game with your matchups, because you got to shut down Josh Hoover. And for both of these teams, it's about vengeance. Who wants to stay in the Big 12 race? Who wants it more? Both of these teams have to come out playing with the fire under their belly and limit the penalties and turnovers.
I was bored in the darkness, molded by it. That was Bane, right?
That was Bane.
Tonight's theme. Oh, big hit. Obi Izor in the backfield of Colorado, all over Traylon Miller.
Oh, my Lord. You're going to watch Obi Izor come from the side and lift him up, form tackle, throw him down. My God. That is a tackle if I've ever seen one. Boom. Good Lord have mercy.
That was a forklift from Obi Izor. Coming off a game where he saw Elarms Orr take over at linebacker against Arizona State. And Andy Avalos, their defensive coordinator, feels tonight is Obi Izor's night. And it brings up a 2nd and 10, and Traylon Miller in that new role as a running back / wide receiver / quarterback makes it 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you know, we're talking like, hey, he's a slash this, he's a slash that. But when we talked to the coaches this week, they said, you know what? he's a running back now. We have to find ways to get him touches. Whether you see him limping off the field there, you hope that he's okay. But it's wildcat quarterback, running back, slot receiver. Whatever ways they can get him the football, they're going to do it. But as you see, now they're sitting here at 3rd and 2. I would like to see them continue to run the football.
Well, they're without Miller on this 3rd and 2, and this refurbished run game is what they turn to on 3rd and short with Welch. And he is right at the mark that he needed. And he's got the first down. Well, Robert, it is a totally different story. One of the most pass-heavy offenses in all of college football last year. Almost perfect balance. Well, yeah, perfect balance by math this year at 50-50.
Yeah, and that's not what they want to do. You know, Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn Jr., those guys, they were throwing the football all over the yard. This team is built to run the football. Offensive line is now a strength. The running back room is now a strength. And you have a quarterback who can also get it done with his legs.
Well, and part of that is bringing Yaya Montiel across, and that ball came out. Who got on top of it? Tristan Johnson was right in the middle of that play. And it's 2nd down. Colorado got it back with the running back Welch hopping back on top of the fumble.
Oh, my. Right there at the very end of the play, you're going to see a pull of the football. Knee is down. Looks like the knee might have been down before that ball came out. You see it right there. Regardless, Colorado did get the football back, but this is why you have to play all the way through the play, keep that ball high and tight, 2 hands on it, and not let the defense rip it out.
So another close call for TCU. They were close to one of those early last week, and Colorado with new life, dropping it out to the perimeter with Dallin Hayden, their other running back, with a first down.
Just a nice, easy, simple concept for the quarterback. Hey, we're going to run a guy to the flat. He's going to come out here. We're going to have 2 sit-down routes on the outside. Hey, if the linebacker doesn't go out with him, throw him the football, get down the field. These are easy ways to get your quarterback in rhythm. Simple reads, simple throws to get his confidence back after that interception.
It was the Jamel Johnson interception that ended the first march down the field for Salter and the Colorado offense. And sticking with that run game, with Dallin Hayden back healthy. Only a couple of carries after he had a hand injury that kept him out the first 3 games.
Yeah, this running back room, as we talked about, has been a strength. They just haven't been able to truly establish one guy because of all of the injuries. Michael Welch, we talked to him this week, and he's the 5'9" bowling ball of a running back. But all of these guys could contribute, and we asked him, what's the one word to describe this room? He said versatile.
Draylon Miller, who just motioned out, the most versatile. Running back turned wide receiver on this play. And that's hit underneath. First down and more for Colorado. Terrell Timmons with a big gainer for the Buffaloes.
This is what you call a dash concept. It's a predetermined roll. He's going to set, and then he's going to roll out of the formation. It's a low cross. You got an out route, and this low cross by Terrell Timmons Jr. You see the arm angle there looking like Patrick Mahomes. All the kids want to do it nowadays. Gets it around the defender and perfectly in stride. This concept, these dashes, these predetermined sprint outs is something that Kaidon Salter has excelled at despite his inability to be highly accurate on the run. He is extremely accurate on that pass concept.
He likes that structure, doesn't he?
He does.
Draylon Miller out of the Wildcat after the 28-yard hit from Terrell Timmons. He gets a yard.
And, you know, when we're talking to offensive coordinator for Colorado this week, Pat Shurmur, it is a little bit, it's dumbfounding. You're like, hey, man, like, how is this guy so good with these dash concepts on the run? But when the play breaks down, he's not really hitting it and seeing it the right way. And it's what you said, Connor. It's the structure of the play. When the play breaks down right now, Kaidon Salter is breaking down with it. But if you predetermine the dash, he knows where he's going.
A couple of good throws on this drive. He's accurate again. And that perimeter pass game for Salter works with Miller again. And they are close to a first down at the end of this first quarter. So 3rd and short ahead as we flip fields. Colorado's defense came up with a goal line stand, and a missed field goal keeps this game at 0-0. We're not used to this in the Big 12. Defensive football leads the first 15 minutes.
We could break it in if you know what I mean. Put some miles on.
Well, Coach, you mentioned before this game how dynamic their quarterback is. Your defense coming up with some huge stops early. Let's start with them. What have you been pleased with most?
We came to play today. I love the practices all week. The walkthroughs that we had even here. The guys came to play today, and I'm proud of them.
Offensively, this drive, what do you want to see here at the end?
Touchdown. We know we got models, so we already got 3. So this is a vital down right now. We got to get it first down. We want to get first down, and I'm trying to decide right now whether I'm going to go for it or we're going to kick the field goal.
We want you to tell us, but I won't make you. I was loud again on the Colorado sideline. You like the hat?
Hey, you are killing the game once again. I got to get you prime hats, girl.
Coach Prime's the best. Thanks, Coach.
Well, Alexa, he doesn't have that decision to make because he's got a first down to Zach Atkins. Yeah, that's a good look at that custom hat Alexa's rocking down there tonight.
Yeah, you guys got some opportunities to go out and enjoy the town, and I'm happy for you, but the hat looks great.
Yeah, fit in well at Billy Bob's. I know that, down at the Stockyards. So first down inside the red zone for Colorado, looking for the first points tonight. And burrowing ahead with Draylon Miller, who continues to move around the formation for Colorado.
Yeah, and Draylon Miller, you're used to him being at wide receiver, and when you talk to Micah Welch, his running back compadre in that room, and we asked him, what advice did you give Draylon when he made the switch to full-time running back? And he said, when you run the football, be physical. And that is something that Draylon has not been afraid to do last week or this week, is be physical running that ball.
They use him as a decoy and flip it out to the perimeter. And a third down and short ahead again to the other Miller, Omarion Miller, with Colorado threatening to score on the 3rd and 3.
We're seeing a lot of screen passes being thrown by both of these teams early in the game, trying to get their receivers involved, but they're not blocking them up properly, and that's why they're getting stuffed for 2 to 3 yards.
13th play of the drive. It's a 3rd and 3. It's a wide open touchdown. Omarion Miller has Colorado on the board.
Oh, what a beautiful concept. Same play that they ran earlier in the game when they got the back directly into the flat. You get the flat route. You got the sit down right in the end zone by Omarion Miller. And he does the best thing here is he doesn't do this sit on the goal line. Oh, my goodness, it would drive me nuts when receivers would stop just short of the goal line. Get that 1 yard into the end zone and score yourself a touchdown, baby.
Biggest pet peeve as a quarterback? That one right there?
It wasn't the biggest, but it was
nope. Care to share your biggest?
I'll share my biggest pet peeve with you when we come back from the break, but I do have to give a shout out to Kaden Salter on that drive right there. 6 for 6, 62 yards and a touchdown. We call that being surgical with it.
Sure was. Three's peeves when you come back. Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Back with RG3, Connor Onion, Alexa Landestoy down on the field. Our scoring summary sponsored by Modelo. Now recruiting full-time fans. Please drink responsibly. Smooth stuff from Kaden Salter. Coming back from the interception, 6 of 6. The touchdown to Miller ended it.
And it was a combination of his decision-making and Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator's play calls. Easy completions to get him back in a rhythm, things that he can see quickly, but it all derived from the running game and the zone read.
And a couple of different guys involved in that running game. And Colorado has done a great job in this state. Of course, this is a sweet spot for all of college football in Texas, but with Deion Sanders, his connections to the state, 20 players on his team from Texas, 12 from this area in the DFW area.
Yeah, listen, Deion Sanders is a legend out here. You see that Dallas Cowboys uniform on him there. So when he walks into someone's living room, who's telling that guy, no, I don't want my son to come play for you? That is the advantage that he has in recruiting, and it's why he was able to flip Travis Hunter years ago to come play for him as the #1 player in the country.
Pretty cool for the moms and dads, too, when he goes into the living room. Watched him in the NFL. Well, now for TCU, Robert, they were inches away, literal inches away from a touchdown, ended up with a missed field goal.
We talk about that vengeance, right? It was on Three's keys. What do you have to do to win this game? You have to limit the turnovers and you have to limit the penalties. They had a penalty there that really hurt them because they didn't execute the play that was called.
And several flags out before the second down snap.
It's gonna be
false start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Yeah, you're going to see Colton Deary just shifts back a little bit as he's getting ready to make that snap happen, and that's a false start. You can't have those short, abrupt movements right before the snap, and the refs caught him there.
The captain, the guy that sets the middle of that offensive line, backs him up 5 to a 2nd and 12. Hoover in the offense, stalled out on a 4th down first drive in the red zone last drive. He's pointing. He's off target behind Palmer, who had to go twisting back to get that ball. And it drops for a 3rd and 12 ahead.
And you talk about throws on the run, and when you're making this throw, you need to put it out here in front of your running back, not back on his back shoulder. You know, not dogging on my running backs at all, but we talk about know your receiver, right? KYR. Running backs, make it easy for them. Your wide receivers, you want to make it easy for them as well, but they can make plays like that for you. That was just a blatant miss there by Josh Hoover.
So the miss on the throw, the 5-yard penalty, and this is where TCU has been in a lot this season, 3rd and long. But with Josh Hoover, they've converted a lot. He sees the pocket collapse, and he can't swing out of it. Arden Walker got the ball out of there, and was he down first? They did get it back. Arden Walker home to the quarterback off the edge for Colorado.
And watch this game here by Arden Walker and the defensive tackle to his side. He's going to loop in around here, get around to the quarterback, boom! Hit Colton Deary, their best offensive lineman, and really work to get that half sack with his guy, Keaton Wade, finishing it off with him. We talked about how they needed to get to the quarterback and create pressure. That's exactly what they did.
Well, Colorado has not created a lot of pressure this year, and they thought tonight with Wade and Walker, they could. And now their offense is set up in plus territory off of the 36-yard punt. Colorado 7-zip. Salter to Marion Miller. Got it started on their last drive. Back to the field after this.
Want the latest on today's games? Just tell Siri. Show me the college football scores.
Hey Siri, show me the 2025 WNBA Rookie of the Year.
Oh, look who it is. Paige Beckers. She heard Coach Prime was coming down Fort Worth, Texas. She understood the assignment. Got some great quarterbacks out here playing their tails off. She wanted to come see what was going on.
She is on the TCU sideline, just for the record.
I'm just saying, I understand. TCU has a chance to put themselves right back in this Big 12 race, so she's interested.
The Horned Frog just punted it away. Caden Salter and the offense for Colorado back out there leaning on the run game. And they get a few extra after the push to give them 5 yards on first down.
It's just a good job of using misdirection. You have your receiver coming across, Quentin Gibson. This is a guy that Colorado wants to get more touches to because he's a dynamic player from North Crowley. Incredible story that he has of having an opportunity to make plays his senior year and get recruited at a big level, going for 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns his senior year of football. So using him as a decoy, and now you see another unique shift from Pat Sherman.
North Crowley just 8 miles from here, so a big night for the Colorado wide receiver. Jamel Johnson comes up and sticks the run after Welch went for 4 yards, and it's a 3rd and 1 upcoming.
And this is exactly where you want to be if you're Colorado. You want to be in these third. This isn't even 3rd and manageable. This is 3rd and do I take a shot? 3rd, do I, am I going to run the football and get a nice, easy first down? When you're in those 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 9s, you're putting your quarterback in a position where he hasn't really excelled that much at. Your whole playbook is open right here. And as you see, they've got this 2-back set right next to Caden Salter, which speaks to them potentially using some zone read.
Every option available on the short yardage. And to the outside, the bang ahead. That last second effort for Welch. Got him to the marker, and he's got a first down.
And it's just inside zone. You got the entire offensive line coming this way with a lead blocker from the back out in front. And you're going to see Micah Welch. He's really good at always being the low man. And we always say the low man wins. When you're 5'9", you're almost always the low man. Good job of him getting his shoulders forward and getting that first down, giving Colorado a new set of downs.
Especially if you're running off of Sincere Brown on the perimeter at 6'5". That might be selling him short. You stood by him on the elevator. Well, first down after Welch's run. Salter running away from pressure. And Tristan Johnson in on another play with Ansel Denba out tonight. Johnson has a big role on that defensive line.
Yeah, Johnson's also the one who pulled the strip sack, the strip on the running back when he was all tied up in the middle of the field on the previous drive. Right here for Kaden Salter, just step up and continue your read. Sometimes as a quarterback, you want to get out, you want to make a play, but just because you see that flash of color up the field doesn't mean that you got to immediately abandon the play. I would love to see him be a little bit more poised in the pocket though.
Unstructured again.
Unstructured.
Atia moves across the formation as the extra offensive lineman in an eligible number. They're looking to set up a screen that way, it looked like, and he's just got to ditch it. Out the other way, and big pressure from Bud Clark, the captain of the secondary, to bring up a third down.
Yeah, this looks like a busted play. Either Kaden Salter was trying to throw the football to the wrong side, or the receiver to that side was not paying attention. You're going to see big old Yaya Ati out here, and they're rolling linemen that way, but there was no receiver over there ready to catch the screen. Just more unforced errors for Colorado, which has really been haunting them this season.
So this blackout crowd comes to life on a third down and 10. Salter out to the perimeter. One move and around the defender. And a yard short for Joseph Williams. And a 4th and 1 upcoming for Colorado.
You're probably wondering, where did Joseph Williams come from? He came from doing a chip on the defensive end to go to the flat. And then it's just about whoop, whoop, make the guy miss, get vertical, put your team in a position where they have to make a decision to go for it and not on 4th and 1.
First charge, timeout of the half. TCU. Media
so
timeout.
TCU takes the timeout. 4th and 1 offense is out there for Colorado. Tomorrow, a Fox NFL doubleheader starts with Dak and the Cowboys taking on the Jets or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, Justin Herbert and the Chargers take on the Commanders or Lions-Bengals. Check local listings for the game in your area only on Fox. RG3, Connor Onion, Alexa Landestoy in Fort Worth, where a 4th and 1 has arrived for Colorado, leading 7-zip in this first half. It is Kaden Salter behind center. Looks to be changing the play. And it's an inside run that almost broke for much more, but it's enough for the first down with Micah Welch.
Really nice job here of Micah Welch getting downhill as fast as possible. They're going to bring him down, bring Draylon Miller across the formation as a misdirection, and he slices the defense just enough to get that first down. Great play call.
This drive started in plus territory for Colorado. They convert on a 3rd and short and a 4th and short. And as Deion Sanders told Alexa, they look like they've come to play tonight. This looks like how they started the BYU game last week.
Yeah, they've come to play. The best thing you can do when you have a high-powered offense on the other side of the field, on the other team's sideline, is keep them on that sideline by owning the time of possession. They're doing a nice job in the passing game. You see the balance that they have, 76 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, and it's just methodical. Eventually, you're going to see them start getting these one-on-one matchups on the outside and try to take advantage of that as well.
And Quentin Gibson in motion. And a fading Salter throws it into tight coverage. Knocked away by Max Carroll, who defended it beautifully at linebacker.
Yeah, man. We talked about Max Carroll, and he's coming from this side over here. And I just want you guys to pay attention to Kaden Salter when he drops in the pocket. Right there, he was about 15 yards deep. Unnecessarily. That makes it hard on your tackles when it comes to pass protection. There's no true pocket cushion for them to know how to cut the defense off. Kaden Salter cannot keep doing that, but a nice job of the defense of getting that knockdown as he faded away, turning what should have been a 5 or 6 yard pass into a 20-yard throw.
Play clock ran out on him. So timeout for Colorado, and we'll be watching the footwork of Salter
Colorado
on this
Media
3rd and
timeout.
9. And if he can stay inside that pocket that's been set for him tonight. That's right after this. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Look at the horns on those things. Beautiful. Twice a day, real cow hands. Lead them down the East Exchange and the stockyards here in Fort Worth. All right, big third down ahead for Kaidon Salter in this blackout environment. They went down and scored the last time they touched it. And remember, we're keeping an eye on the footwork for Salter, who drifted to set up this third down outside of his protection. On a 3rd and 9. Pressure picked up. Salter underneath, complete to Gibson. Flag is out. He twists ahead for the first down. Flags flying everywhere. 2 came in right around the catch at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be illegal block down the field. This ball was completed past the line of scrimmage, and they were blocking before he caught it. Michael Welcher's one of those guys.
So for the Fort Worth native, Quentin Gibson, his catch will be wiped off.
There was no foul for offensive pass interference. The ball was caught behind the line of scrimmage. Result of the play was a first down.
Never mind. It won't.
Yeah, so what you're going to see is Quentin Gibson does an incredible job of running right down the line of scrimmage. So it's where he catches it at. And he catches that at like the 18 to 19-yard line, which means it wasn't past the line of scrimmage, and there was no illegal blocking down the field. Great catch there by the refs.
An invisible tightrope for Gibson, who has a ton of people here to see him tonight. And Salter out the back door and lunges across the 10. Picked up a yard on first down.
And right there, Salter, we always say this as quarterbacks. Once you pull that one, you got to make the first guy miss. But it does feel like number 2, Jamel Johnson, has his number. He wasn't able to get away from him on that interception, and he dang sure wasn't able to get away from him right there on that open field tackle.
That's a big matchup tonight with Ansel Denba out, the best interior pass rusher for TCU, injured. We've seen Johnson make several plays in this first half, including that one. And TCU shifting the line up front. Salter out the back door again. Squeezing through, lunging for the end zone. He's in. Kaidon Salter on the quarterback keeper for 6.
That time, Kaidon Salter was able to make the first guy miss. And you see the read, and then he's got big Yaya Atia out there in front of him, puts the stiff arm out, reaches the ball across the goal line. You see the knee stays up, ball crosses the plane with control. That is a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that is the single threat that Deion Sanders wanted Kaidon Salter to be, right?
Yeah, sometimes as a quarterback, you get to a point in your career where you're like, man, I just want to throw the football. I don't want to run anymore, but you don't want to rob yourself of what makes you special. Kaidon Salter is a special running quarterback who can throw the football as well. Establish that single threat so you can be a duel for the rest of the game.
Deion Sanders told us yesterday, dual threat? How about just one? Run with the football. Salter does. Out for 30 seconds.
Bang, bang, bang.
A terrific response. Kaidon Salter, opening drive pick, 2 touchdowns after that.
Yeah, and I'm really focusing on these right here, the 2 follow-up drives. You know how you can tell the demeanor of a team on any given day is how they respond to adversity. And right now, Kaidon Salter, after throwing the interception, has now led his team to back-to-back touchdown drives. Resolve, perseverance, poise, it's all showing up for Kaidon Salter tonight.
Harder than it looks to do that?
Oh, yes. Very hard.
Major Everhart brings us out of the TCU end zone and curls around the edge. And pushed out across the 25. It's been a roller coaster for Colorado. It wasn't just straight up Kaidon Salter, this is your job, and go get it.
No, it wasn't. And you see there, Salter starts off as the starter. You know, then he gets to Delaware, and then, you know, Ryan Staub now takes it over, and he's the starting quarterback when you go into the Houston game. And it's up and down just a little bit, and all of a sudden, hey, Salter's back in the game, and Staub is the 2, and Juju's the 3. then now we just don't know what's going on, and the coaches are trying to figure out the offense and who's going to be the guy that gives them the best chance. And so far tonight, Kaidon Salter is making them right on picking him to be that guy for the past few weeks.
One touchdown through the air, one on the ground for Salter. Now what response will Josh Hoover has? Good start to the drive with Manjack.
Yeah, he has to get back in rhythm. When you have an up-tempo offense, if you can't get that first down, it really hampers you. So right there, boom, they get it on the very first play. They're off and rolling.
15 yards to Manjack. Little pump into the flat. DJ Rogers is wide open and back-to-back first down. Very good response so far for Hoover.
Yeah, they're just giving him nice, easy completion plays. They understand, like, hey, we want to hit these shots down the field. We want to get our running game rolling, but we got to get our guy. He is him to them. Josh Hoover is him to this offense, and him has to get rolling, and he's already rolling with 2 easy completions to start this drive.
Yeah, Kendall Bryles told us yesterday, I think that's what the kids say. He's him. That's what he thinks of his quarterback. It was Barnes tackled by Wiggins for a loss.
And right now, going to this game, we knew that the edges were going to be important. They're important every game, right? But the strength of this TCU offensive line is the center and guard spots. Right now, the tackles are getting their butt whipped. And if they don't start to toughen up, TCU's not going to be able to run the football.
Ryan Hughes left the game. Their left tackle 2 plays in. And this is a great sign for them. Getting Dwyer the football. Even better when it goes for a first down.
Yeah, and Dwyer's going to run a nice just out route, push vertical, run the out, make the DB back up, and that's against DJ McKinney, Colorado's best defensive back. And I know Prime's probably saying in his ear, hey, man, you're our best guy. We need you to play, not just get beat, but to go make plays. That was way too easy.
Another touch for Manjack. That's the interesting matchup, isn't it? Because Dwyer's a guy that can take the top off the Colorado defense as a deep threat.
Yeah, Dwyer is. And listen, Hoover he's a guy that's not going to shy away of who he's going to throw the ball to. Right? Hey, if it's Dwyer is the guy, that's where the ball's supposed to go. All right, I'm going to give it to him. 2 + 2 is 4. Okay, now 4 on this play is going to be Eric McAllister. He's going to get the ball. So the DBs for Colorado have to be prepared at all times. They can never take any plays off.
Got the Zach Galifianakis math gif going in my head right now, all that math. Oh, that's through the hands of Barnes, who had some space to run if he reels that in. Instead, third down.
He had some space to run, and Preston Hodge, number 4, closed that space extremely quickly. And I know for that running back, he could feel that. He could feel the defender coming in on him. But the number one thing you have to do is catch the ball first, then make your move. Right there, he tried to do them both at the same time. And, you know, us men, we're not great multitaskers.
Touche. So 3rd down and 8, right at the edge of field goal range. Hoover, quick hitter, knocked away. Preston Hodge steers it out of there. And there is a flag down. The TCU fans calling for it. They get their wish.
Yeah, it's going to be pass interference. He whips around those hips. You know, they say the hips don't lie. Right there, he pulled him back and
pass interference. Defense. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, so you're going to watch Preston Hodge right here on Manjack. Watch his hands. As Manjack makes this slant inside, he's going to grab the hips and pull himself through.
Number 4.
That is classic. Every DB around the world right now is probably complaining because they said it didn't really alter him. I dare you to go grab somebody's hips right now on a slant route, and I tell you what, it'll alter every single route that you have. And now Colorado has more PIs already this year than they've had in the last 2 seasons total.
Off of that 8th of the season on the pass interference, it's Everhart on a creative draw. He gets 7 on first down.
And you go back to that graphic, they've just been a lot more handsy, right? And they knew coming into this game that TCU was going to run a ton of slant routes, especially when they brought pressure. So they're prepared for that. Sometimes they're just a little bit ahead of the play.
Hoover pulls it out, flips it to the edge to Battle, who couldn't quite keep his feet. But Trent Battle does have the first down, stumbling his way ahead.
You're going to see these receivers out here getting these blocks. And when the back comes in motion, Battle, we always say if nobody goes, I throws. He had so much open space right there, he tripped over his own feet. He couldn't believe it.
Well, Battle's a guy that can go if he gets out into space. Here's Barnes slipping to the outside. Barnes reaching to the pylon. and he is down just shy. Around Makari Vickers to get his way inside the one.
This run is supposed to hit inside. Barnes is going to take it here, bounce it outside. Like I said, it's the process to getting there, and you got to make the one-man miss. He makes a miss and just steps out of bounds right before he can score that touchdown. But it's all about where the ball is.
Really on the field of the runner being down short of the goal line.
I think he's in.
Review.
It's all about where the ball is when he steps out. So here, he's running, got that ball on the inside hand, so it's going to cross that pylon. And let's see. That's a touchdown, people. You run that back, you can see right when the foot is about to come down, it's about where the football is. The foot comes down there. Touchdown.
Touchdown, yep.
Across the plane.
Irving, Texas is where the Big 12 Command Center is. They're taking a close look at this. Appreciate the Big 12 giving us access to this. And for Mike Pereira joining us tonight. Mike, what'd you see? Touchdown or no?
You got the Big 12 Command Center, but if I'm going to advise them, I'm going to say this is a touchdown because he actually goes out of bounds. He doesn't get a foot down in the end zone, but by the time he steps out of bounds, that ball has broken the plane. So it's not an extension of the goal line at this point, but the fact that he brought it inside and has broken the plane, it seems to me to be a touchdown.
That's exactly right. Mikey P., good to see you, brother. And we always tell running backs, keep that ball in the outside hand so you can stiff arm. But right here, him actually carrying it in his inside arm actually helped him score this touchdown there. So sometimes you got to overcome coaching, people. Sometimes you got to overcome it.
Yeah, the opposite technique of what you would hear at, I don't know, a seminar or a coaching clinic. Could be the difference between first and goal and touchdown.
He did everything wrong right there. Had the ball in his inside arm. He reached for the pylon, which they don't tell you to reach for the pylon. We've seen so many guys fumble right before they get into the end zone. But when it works, we all clap.
Yep. Mikey P. wasn't selling his skills to leave us to be a consultant with the Big 12, was he?
No. I enjoy those,
After further
all those
review,
videos he gives us.
the ruling on the field is upheld. First and goal, TCU.
What? Wow. No way.
Okay, how could this have been not a touchdown, Mike?
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure, but I'm on my way to the Big 12 Command Center now. I am taking that
job. Well played.
I know we're laughing up here, but TCU fans are not laughing because that was a clear touchdown, and I believe the Command Center got it wrong. There was clear evidence to see that he crossed the plane.
So all the big boys in there on first and goal, and it's Hoover. Definitely in this time. First score of the night for Josh Hoover, the TCU offense behind Chase Curtis at tight end.
Ball don't lie, people. Ball don't lie. Right here, they send the motion out to distract the defense, and then Josh Hoover is going to take it, not go in the A gap, but get all the way outside to the C gap, get a little push forward. Hey, I think Jalen Hurts would have liked that one right there. They must be watching some of that Philly tape.
Can Josh Hoover squat the house?
I don't think he can squat as much as Jalen Hurts because I don't think any quarterback can squat as much as Jalen Hurts.
When your squat begins with a 6, you're in a little different category. But Josh Hoover, after the Barnes play was ruled short, he gets the rushing touchdown and cuts that Colorado lead in half at 14-7 with less than 3 minutes to go in the first half from Fort Worth. We got a ball game in the Big 12. Well, first 3 drives for TCU included a play where they got close at first and goal. This time they cash in and score it.
Yeah, they really, their best players showed up and started making plays. They got Josh Hoover in a little bit of a rhythm, allowed him to get some easy completions early in the drive as TCU and Colorado's defense was playing a lot softer. So Hoover going 5 for 6 for 52 yards right there. We saw the drive with Caden Salter before where he went 6 for 6 for 62 yards. When these quarterbacks can see the field and start to manipulate coverage, that's when you know the offense is starting to gel, and that's why we're seeing some more points being scored here.
Got this crowd right back in it for TCU. And Quentin Gibson thought about it, but not this time. Kneels for the touchback. Well, last week was eerily similar both ways. Colorado led 14-0, lost by 3. TCU led 17-0. Lost by 3 in Tempe.
Well, Connor, something's got to give, right? Both of these teams understand that they can't just start fast, but they have to finish strong as well. Neither of them really started fast in the first quarter, but when we talked to Coach Prime, he said his team has been really slow out of the gate in the first and really slow out of the gate in the third quarter. So they have the lead now, and the way to milk that lead is to continue to run the football.
And they do to open up this drive, but TCU's ready for it with Zach Chapman. But did the ball come out at the end of that pile? TCU is pointing their way.
The runner was down. Second down.
And apparently not.
When you talk about Chapman there filling the gaps and then boom, to see if the runner was down. He looks down, but I don't know what the command center is going to say about that.
Well, between the brain trust of me, you, and Mike, we had a little dilemma last time we did one of those. 2-minute timeout here in Fort Worth. The 2nd and 9 upcoming for Colorado. Leading by 7 on the road at TCU.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, a monumental upset at the Rose Bowl. Things get even worse for Arch Manning in Texas. Plus, Miami and Florida State renew their historic rivalry in Tallahassee. RG3, hope you and the family are doing well, my brother. See you and Connor at the half.
Appreciate you, Mike. If anybody didn't know, coming to this game, my family and myself got in a car accident here on I-35, and kids were in the car with us, but they're all fine, and we're all doing well.
Glad to see you here. Glad to see your family as that ball is picked off. Bud Clark, the captain at the back end, plucks it away for TCU.
What a play by Bud Clark. I want you guys to see where Bud comes from on this play. He is right here to the top of your screen. He is going to play his guy, have his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, and then fall back in and jump up when he tries to throw it above him. That's what you call a guy that is trying to make a play, not just play his responsibility. If you don't remember Bud Clark, he's the one that caught the pick 6 in the semifinals of the college football playoff off of J.J. McCarthy. Yes, he's still in college, and he is one of the best safeties in the country.
The reflex on that. My goodness. But that'll be another one his 2-year-old son, Kenzo, probably doing play-by-play of as he gets a little bit older. Just like on that McCarthy pick a few years ago. Clark with the takeaway. So both safeties for TCU with picks. Now Hoover in the offense for TCU. Back in operation with Dwyer. And he's out near the first down. And he is there for a first down. So inside 2 minutes, clock stops as they get the ball set. Well, Hoover off of the play fake, taking a shot, looking end zone, drops it in! McAllister with the catch and the high five for the TCU fan.
You're going to watch this route. He's going to do a great job getting vertical, stacking the corner, and leaving enough space on the sideline for his quarterback to drop a dime in there. So good of a throw. He didn't even need both hands. He caught that bad boy with one hand, Connor.
Breathtaking. Both the throw and the catch. From Hoover to McAllister. You got to see that again.
Watch him. Late hands. Look, I only need one of them bad boys, so I don't got to throw up 2.
A 14 all in a 1-minute span. Our Pacific Life game summary. This will come after the kickoff. And it has taken a quick turn. 106 to score 14 points. Who had the better catch, McAllister or Clark? Clark had the pick, McAllister the touchdown.
Well, McAllister knew it was coming to him. Bud Clark had to go up there and take it away from Colorado. I think they were equally impressive.
Well, this one will be brought out by Gibson, and he runs into a wall. They rattle in the cage a little bit. All right, now our game summary. It's sponsored by Pacific Life. Building confident futures for nearly 160 years. 106 to tie it at 14 for TCU.
Yeah, it's like we blinked, and all of a sudden it's now 14-14. This TCU offense has gotten rolling. They brought in Eric McAllister, who is playing a little bit on a pitch count tonight. But if there was one play to have him on, it was certainly that last one. Just an amazing job. They call it late hands at wide receiver. Never let the DB know that the ball is coming. That's why you saw the DB looking in disbelief like, man, I don't even know how he caught that. I didn't know the ball was coming. It was because of the technique that McAllister used, and Hoover is now in a groove.
Flashed his hand so late, he only flashed one. Left the other one down on the one-hander. Caden Salter, after his second pick of the night, he is dragged down in the sack. It's that man again, Tristan Johnson for TCU.
Tristan Johnson here on the interior. You're going to see him do a game, go outside, do his responsibility, and then burst to the quarterback. Never gives up. And when the quarterback tries to escape, he rallies to him. Go ahead and pour the powder in the hands and let it go up to the sky, young brother.
Man, a backup before tonight until Denver went out. Now he's sacking the quarterback, throwing the powder, and Salter back to the edge, and he is wrestled down to bring up third down. Into the sure hands of Channing Canada, and a timeout.
Second charge, timeout of the hat. TCU, 30-second timeout.
Oh, we got to get your thoughts with a second look. Clark or McAllister, who did it better for TCU?
Yeah, you watch it right here. He tries to throw it over Clark's head. He rises up, climbs the ladder, and steals it. And then you're going to see McAllister here on this catch with the late hand. Boom. One hand right into the chest. I mean, look at them celebrating together. Hey, man, you catch it, I catch it. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Catch, shoulder press. I'm sure they're happy to share the credit. So 14 all, just like that. We saw Caden Salter at the end of the game last week in 2 minutes throw a pick. But today was about a potential redemption arc for him in these 2-minute spots.
We talked about his completion percentage in 2-minute drill is 38%. If you're Pat Shermer, you have to find a way to get him an easy completion right here. And I know it's third and long. Sometimes getting your quarterback in rhythm is the way to go. Oh, my God!
Run it, and it breaks with Hayden. Kept it on the ground on 3rd and 9, and now that changes the entire picture of this drive with 33 seconds left.
Well, what they go to, they went to zone read because that's what they feel Caden Salter is the most comfortable with, and they popped it for a big gain.
They got 25 on the Hayden run. Now he zips it to an open receiver. It's Miller, the touchdown catcher, inside the red zone with something to say to Clark.
Oh, wow. This is a simple seam route by Omarion Miller. Safety stayed in the middle of the field. Caden Salter read it out perfectly and delivered a dime down the field.
Wow, dime for dime answering Hoover, putting it on the hands of McAllister. 25-yard hit, 34-yard hit, and you blink again, here we go with the offense.
Exactly. And you're going to see it's a seam route right down the side right here, and you're going to see the middle safety coming from all the way on the other side of the field. So Salter knows, I just got to put this away from the safety to make this play. Bud Clark there a little bit late getting there. Omarion Miller does a nice job adjusting to the football, trusting his quarterback, putting on that outside shoulder.
Well, Robert, TCU was a play away from forcing a punt and maybe thinking about a lead before halftime. Now it's Colorado on the march. Salter right into the back of his offensive lineman, and he throws it away. The TCU fans want grounding. And I don't think they're going to get it. That was over the head of his guy.
And again, this is just another situation where Caden Salter just a little too chaotic in the pocket. Yes, those ends are rushing up the field, but your offensive line has given you a nice little cushion. Take that small step up, keep your eyes down the field, and execute the play that's called. Don't run into the back of your offensive lineman, because if they create that shell around you, you have to make the most of it.
Too big of moves in the pocket?
Way too big.
He's got a 3rd down and 10, flings it to the end zone, knocked knocked away, but a flag out. Vernon Glover all over Miller, and the flag flies in that spot.
Oh, boy, they're going to call pass interference on Vernon Glover, but I don't know if I agree with that on this one.
Pass interference. Defense number 26. Ball we placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
So you're going to see Vernon Miller right here. He's holding Omarion Miller. But what you're not seeing before that is that Omarion Miller puts his hands on Vernon. I've always been a feeler, my feeling has always been that once the receiver puts his hands on the DB should be allowed to hold their ground and put their hands back on the wideout. But that's not how the ref felt. He saw the hold around the shoulders, and he threw the flag.
Standing up for the defensive guys.
Hey, man.
And first and goal, 8 seconds to go. That's knocked up. That's picked off. Obiizor takes it away for TCU. And they stand at the goal line as the half expires. Jamel Johnson playing whack-a-mole at the goal line.
This is the play that Colorado ran earlier and scored a touchdown on, and Jamel Johnson right here is going to sniff it out to the flat. They got a guy coming right in there on the sit. He's going to knock it down and say, not so fast. You're not going to do that one again. And Obiizor is Johnny on the spot and catches the pick. This is what you call taking what happened on a previous drive and applying it to this game. And right there, Jamel Johnson has been Kaidon Salter's worst enemy all night long.
3 picks in the half. What a final 2 minutes, 30 seconds of football we just saw. Into the half at 14-14. Mike Hill coming up with the State Farm halftime. College football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. What a final 2 minutes. What a final 6 minutes of that half. Crazy Train, the perfect way to play us back after it was 14-love Colorado. In 1 minute and 6 seconds, TCU turned it into a 14-14 game, and the Frog was more fearful. And the final 6 minutes or so in that first half, we welcome you back in. Robert Griffin III, Connor Onion, Alexa Landestoy downstairs. Crazy Train? Yeah,
it was a crazy game, and honestly, when you look at it from Colorado's perspective, first 5 games, they had 4 turnovers. In the first half today, they've had 3. But it started out hot with Kaidon Salter establishing that single threat as a quarterback, running the football, and then it just became an onslaught of turnovers. Throws the interception here to Bud Clark, getting TCU and giving them an opportunity to get Eric McAllister involved with a one-handed touchdown catch. And then this interception right before the half has everybody saying, why didn't they just run the football? Well, as a quarterback, you're responsible for the ball when it is in your hands. And this is a game where TCU's been struggling to run the football. And offensively, in the passing game, they were struggling until Kaidon Salter started turning the football over. He's allowed them to claw back into this. Now you have to say, we're back 0-0. Both teams reset, protect the football, establish the run, and see who's going to run away with this one.
0-0 after a quarter, and then the fireworks of that second quarter. Let's check in with Alexa.
You guys touched on it. Crazy game, crazy finish. I asked Coach Prime, what was his message to the guys in the locker room? He said he went back to what I told you guys in the open and what he told us yesterday. Look back at that flashcard. What are you good at? That's what I need you to do in order for us to win this game. I asked him how important this first drive is coming out of the half. He said very important, and his message there, consistency. That's what he wants to see from his offense here, Connor.
Well, Alexa, Robert, he did say this isn't a short leash for Kaidon Salter. He'll let him play through some of these mistakes.
And especially him coming back, and especially a homecoming game for him, being back near where he grew up and where he played. You don't want to see him going to the tank because you benched him after he's thrown 3 interceptions. See how he can respond coming out here in the second half. And we didn't mention this, but it also shows you, well, he's the first Colorado quarterback with 3 interceptions in the first half since Steven Montez in 2018. I don't think a lot of people know who Steven Montez is. That's not a good person to be in the same category with. But the reason that play at the end of the half was so crucial is because they had an opportunity to double up. Now they don't. Now they're trying to get the momentum back on their side.
Well, they're only a few yards away from having that chance and getting the ball here with the lead. Instead, TCU stays on the attack with a big hit from Elarms to make it third down.
And we talk about that ability to double up. They call it controlling the middle 8, right? It's that last 4 minutes of the half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. If they had scored a touchdown there at the end of the half, they'd have been up 21-14 with a chance to go up 28-14. But now, because of that penalty, because of that interception, they don't get to double up and go up 14. They're fighting for their lives here at 3rd and 7. And if you're Kaidon Salter, you have to protect the football here. Don't force anything that's not there.
3 takeaways on the night. They bring some heat. He's away quickly and on target for a first down. So he protected it, got it to his top target. First down, Joseph Williams.
It's their leading receiver there, Joseph Williams. You're not going to see the route here, but watch Kaidon Salter get to his back foot. Ball comes out. That's exactly what you want. It's the timing and the rhythm of the play. It's a nice out route from the slot. The receiver does a really nice job pushing vertical to scare the DB. As soon as he pops his head around, boom, ball's right there. That's what you call being in rhythm, Kaidon Salter.
Well, that's the frustrating thing, right? He'll make throws like that and then be a little bit errant like we saw in the first half. And that on the screen goes for a first down. Quentin Gibson moves the chains for Colorado.
We got to start highlighting this guy. Yaya Atia, he's running across the formation, doing things in the running game for the blocks, and then he's out there in the open field trying to make blocks for these small, shifty wide receivers. He's doing a really nice job. Big number 84 there.
Remember what Pat Shurmur said yesterday? We're going to get him some gloves. He's out there in the receiver stance. Salter moves the pocket. Eyes stay downfield, and he feathers it in. Nice touch to get it to Terrell Timmons, and it's 3 straight first downs for Colorado.
And this was a big part of Kaidon Salter's game that the coaches wanted him to work on. It's keeping his eyes down the field.
Offense number 84. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Uh-oh, that was Atia. You shout him out and he gets the penalty.
Come on, man. I give you a shout out and you're going to get a holding penalty right after. Wiping out a really good play there by Kaidon Salter. You're going to see Yaya Atia right here. Comes down, puts that arm on the outside, but it's when Salter breaks the pocket, he's got to let him go right there. As soon as they see that shoulder pad become exposed from the holding of the jersey, they're going to call that holding penalty every single time.
Oyewale, the guy that he held, a hard guy to harness. One of the best pass rushers for TCU. Closer to 100% than he was last week. Jamel Johnson was the first guy in the hole, and Dallin Hayden ran right through that tackle for a physical first down run.
Man, Dallin Hayden is running the football extremely hard, inviting the contact and not blinking. Sometimes you see guys when they get to contact, you can tell they close their eyes because their feet stop moving and they don't know where they're trying to go. Hayden right there kept his feet moving like he lay, man, you're not about to tackle me, bro. Yeah, I'm meeting you in the hole with full aggression. And for Hayden, knowing that he has so many other backs in that running back room that can make plays, every single carry for him could be his last, and he's running at it.
More involved tonight. They fake it to him here. And Salter going deep. Has a man. Williams down there, but underthrown. He had to break stride, and Bud Clark recovered.
Oh, my goodness. Watch these big fellas up front. Watch the protection that they give for Kaidon Salter off the play action. He doesn't have to go anywhere. All he has to do is get more energy towards the throw so that the receiver, Joseph Williams, doesn't have to slow down. But you know what I'm going to say? If you're a receiver and that ball touches your hands, you got to make that play.
That reaction tells you Williams feels exactly that.
He knows he's got to try to make that one. He has to make that one. And if you're the quarterback, you got to give him a better ball.
Instead of a touchdown, a third down. Salter wants it all again. Tight coverage. And flag is out as the ball squirts free. Sincere Brown, who they want to take shots to, finally targeted. He was locked up with Vernon Glover.
They're going to throw that on Vernon Glover Jr. You're going to watch him. He kind of guides Sincere Brown out of bounds, and we'll show it to you.
Defense, number 26. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Vernon Glover right here, he pushes him, forces him out of bounds. So then when he's trying to run back in, obviously, they throw that flag because you're not supposed, you can't push the defender, the offensive guy out of bounds when you're trying to play corner on him. So right there you see Sincere Brown go out of bounds. That's a clear and obvious penalty. I know the sideline is saying, oh, no, he didn't do anything wrong, but you can't butt check him and basically box him out like it's basketball. Butt check him? Butt check him.
Butt check him. Here's Gibson dancing in the backfield and a swarming defense up to get him. Perry Cole, the first to arrive, help from the Sam linebacker, Austin Jordan.
Yeah, you're going to watch Gibson come forward, come right back to get this screen. And when he catches it, he sees a face full of TCU defenders ready to just tear him apart. Really nice job by Austin Jordan getting him down there and attacking. When you see these defenders in open space, the worst thing they can do is sit and wait. You want to close that distance and make that offensive guy feel that pressure right there. That's exactly what they did.
So backed up, Colorado at 2nd and 17, and Salter has no room to operate on the edge. But Clark got him for a pick in the first half. He cuts him down here.
Yeah, Bud Clark does a really nice job of playing both the pass outside and getting back inside to get a nice hit on the legs of Caden Salter. As a quarterback, especially a dual threat quarterback, those hits start to add up. And I know Caden did not want to feel that right there on his thighs.
Is this 2 to get 13 yards, 2 plays?
Yes.
All right. So see how that influences the play call of Pat Shermer. Pressure off the edge. Salter survives it. Gets it away. It's tipped. Volleyball around and off the hands of Brown. Hearts and throats again on the Colorado sideline. After 3 picks in the first half, nearly a 4th.
Yeah, and you're going to see another pressure coming off this side right here into Caden Salter's face. He does a nice job making him miss, but then when he gets outside the pocket, he is not seeing the levels of the defense right now. He almost threw another interception right there to Bud Clark, which probably would have been an easier pick than he had earlier in the first half. Salter has to understand how to layer the ball. That means get it over the defender and drop it into your receiver's hands. For some reason, his depth perception seems to be off tonight.
Is that part of the drop?
It's not a part of his drop. Maybe it's the all-black jerseys. Maybe he's just not seeing them as clear.
Offense number 35, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Surviving the darkness, one of 3's keys.
Yes.
And it seems to be influencing the perception of the quarterback for Colorado.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the fact that he keeps dropping his elbow when you've seen him throw all these sidearm throws. Well, that affects his ability to get the ball to curve up and down over that second-level defender. Bud Clark is obviously tuned into that. But if you're Caden Salter, you got to fix that quickly because this team and this offense needs you to be able to make those intermediate throws down the field on the run.
Fix it quickly, like between now and the next series.
Yes.
For Colorado. And if they want any chance of climbing back in the Big 12 race, it's got to happen tonight. The TCU thinking the same after they dropped a close one last week. Playing in a tie game early 3rd quarter at home for the Horned Frogs. They're on the field next. Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You are in good hands. That is the world's largest honky-tonk, Billy Bob's. Alexa killed it. Me, on the other hand, Rhonda roasted me, our dance instructor. I don't know what I'm doing. The can? It's definitely not line dancing.
Connor, I don't know what you're doing, but Albert Brenneman is looking for his dance moves back. We got to make sure you stay right here, brother. You got to stay right here.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Is he going same arm, same leg? What is going on here? Well, I'm going to work with you. We're going to work on that.
Okay.
We're going to come back. We're going to make sure that you are squared away.
I got you.
Just make the pizza, right? Just like Hitch said, just make the pizza right here.
What is it? What's the move from Hitch? To the outside of the first play for Barnes. Alexa, you looked a lot better than me.
Well, hey,
dancing with Rhonda.
Super Frog's over here line dancing on the sideline as well. I think he can teach us a few moves. Robert, we definitely missed you at Billy Bob's. We got the hat. If we come back to Fort Worth, we're definitely going back there. Well, hey, Coach Dykes told me his team's got to clean things up. They had too many self-inflicted wounds. He said the offense early did not have any rhythm. Wasn't pleased with that. Wants to see more consistency from his offense here to start the second half.
Oh, thank you very much for the quick pivot to actual football things, Alexa. First down, TCU.
You know, Alexa's talking about that consistency that Sonny Dykes wants to see from this offense. Where's it going to come from? It's going to come from establishing a run. Yes, I know Josh Hoover's 14 of 18 and feeling really good in the passing game, but they have to be able to run the football to balance out their attack.
Well, it wasn't a first down. They were very, very close. Now they actually have it. There's some of the balance you're talking about, running on 3rd and short.
And sometimes you want to run for, everyone wants to run for 200 yards. But sometimes you just have to keep the defense honest to say, listen, we know that we can probably throw the football all around the yard, but in order to play the style of football that we want to with the play action pass and taking the shots down the field, we have to commit to running the ball, even if it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust for most of the game. Those runs become 10 to 15-yard runs in the fourth quarter.
And Robert, already more run production this week for TCU than all of last week. And it opens up the pass game. There's Man-Jack, tripped up at the end of the run by Preston Hodge.
Yeah, and no swag Jack. Mr. Man-Jack himself, I call him a chain mover. He's a guy that gets them in manageable downs and distances. And Josh Hoover loves working him because he knows he's going to be where he's supposed to be, and he's going to make those tough catches across the middle.
Loves working with him with a little bit of a caveat. As Barnes is swarmed, here comes 3rd down. Remember what he said about him?
Oh, I remember.
What did he say about him?
He said he hasn't seen his swag or a guy like him with that type of swag since the 2nd grade.
And then he thought somebody from Frat Bro was out there catching passes for him with the no gloves.
Hey, man, I've been to some of those intramural flag football games that these guys play in. Some of those guys could probably make the team.
Yeah, Man-Jack's not playing intramurals. He's been a stud for Josh Hoover. He likes him on 3rd downs. He's at the bottom of the bunch on this 3rd and 5. A 4-man rush. Hoover has time. Gets it away. It was intended for Man-Jack, but a rare misconnect between Hoover and Man-Jack.
Yeah, it's a nice over route here. They're running a mesh concept, and Man-Jack is going to start on the inside, push vertical, go all the way across the field. And he's running it and going flat. The quarterback's throwing it as if he's going up the field, and that was just a miscommunication. Josh Hoover has to understand that versus man, he's going to keep it flat. Versus zone, he'll continue to climb and put that ball out in front of him.
So 3rd and 5, Colorado gets a stop. And a booming punt to keep it away from Gibson. It does take a Colorado skip. Out of bounds for Caden Salter and Colorado to retake the field. 14 all in Fort Worth.
Don't mess around with any old rambling man.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Allstate. You are in good hands.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
The vocal stylings of RG3. Connor Onion with you. Alexa Landestoy down in the field. Beautiful night in the heart of Texas here in Fort Worth.
That was great harmony, man. Good. Country album dropping soon.
You would have thought we had done that before. Just we might need to hire dancers. Rex. Caden Salter with the give. Dallin Hayden has been a demon to tackle out of halftime. Bouncing off hits. Another first down for the Colorado back.
Again, I talked about Dallin Hayden, the way he's running. They're going to bring the tight end across on the block. Dallin Hayden's going to go down and hit it right there in the gap, and boom, bounce it to the outside. That's why it's called being patient as a runner. Don't just try to get outside as fast as you possibly can. Set up those blocks by your offensive linemen, allow them to get in phase, and then when you hit the outside, there's nobody there for you.
Well, that took him 20-plus yards down the field, and Colorado has the rushing edge with this running game that has shown promise the last few weeks. Robert, with Hayden now, we might be on 100-yard rusher watch for Colorado. He's up above 50 yards on the ground tonight.
Ding, ding, ding. That's an interesting stat you bring up there, Connor, because Deion has never had a 100-yard rusher since he's been at Colorado. And I believe it's, what, 32 consecutive games that they haven't had a 100-yard rusher. So
hard to believe, isn't it?
That commitment to the running game is starting to pay off. And of all people to be the one to get it, Dallin Hayden would be the most unlikely.
Tricks here. It's incomplete. Now they handed it off to the quarterback, Salter. Didn't work, third down.
And this is where I continue to get frustrated with the Kaden Salter of it all is watch this sidearm throw. Sidearms can be cool, but they're not always necessary. What is making him have to throw that sidearm and be so inaccurate that his receiver can't even get his hands up? That's how far behind him that throw was. You only need to go sidearm when it's absolutely necessary. I want to see Kaden Salter fix that and start coming more over the top so he can be a lot more accurate and more consistent.
See if he can correct on a 3rd and 11. He steps up in some trouble, and he's swung down. Izor with the sack to bring up 4th down.
And you're going to see where Izor comes from. He's going to come from right here, A-gap. They got the double A-gap blitzes. He's going to act like he's dropping out and add on. The outside rushers get Kaden Salter to step up, and Izor, who has been a spy for the most of this game on these 3rd down situations, making sure that Kaden Salter can't break the pocket, ends up getting the big-time sack.
Set him free after spying all day. Izor forces the punt unit out for Colorado. We only saw 1 punt combined in the first half. We've seen 5 drives, 5 punts since that opening half that saw very few. So TCU gets it back with Josh Hoover after they punted away last time. That'll be after this, after Nnamdi Izor. They unleash him after spying Salter. He gets home for the sack. TCU football.
And the top-ranked Ohio State collides with Illinois on Big Noon Saturday. Then TCU, K-State. And under the lights, it's Kansas versus 11th-ranked Texas Tech. It all starts with Big Noon Saturday on Fox.
The ALDS continues tomorrow on FS1, starting with Aaron Judge and the Yankees taking on the Blue Jays. Then the Tigers battle Cal Raleigh and the Mariners in Game 2. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on FS1. Your normal partner, Jason Benetti's Tigers.
Yes, he's been on the roller coaster with the Tigers all season long. Doing an amazing job calling baseball, and hope he has some fun calling that Cowboys game tomorrow in the NFL.
The Cowboys-Jets tomorrow on Fox. And TCU back on the field on offense. Hoover escapes pressure and throws it to no one. I think I said 5 before we went to break. There have only been 3 drives in the half. They've all been punts after just 1 punt in the first half.
It's almost like we're having a deja vu moment from the first quarter where we didn't have any points. And then everything exploded in the second quarter. You end up with 28 points between the 2 teams. Neither team is controlling the middle 8. The middle 8 is already gone. And if you're TCU, it's why I keep harping on being able to run the football. They seem to not be able to run it averaging 2.4 yards a carry right now.
So back-to-back throws with nothing doing in the run game. They get the pass game going to his tight end, Chase Curtis, for a big hitter and a first down.
Yeah, really nice route here by Chase Curtis. Going to push vertical, run the seam, and Josh Hoover puts it out in front of him. No safety to worry about because you got the 2-high look with the 2 safeties deep. Really nice pass completion there.
Middle of the field open, goes for 27 yards and along the boundary. McAllister had the one-hander before, not here.
Hey, man, it's like when you go to your favorite restaurant and you get that 1 meal every single time. They tried to go back to the same thing here. McAllister tried to catch it with 1 hand again that time. You know, maybe tried to get too fancy. Goes out with 2. It's a little wider than he's expecting. But these 2 have been a force this year, so I don't blame Hoover for taking that shot again. He just needed to pull it in about a yard.
Can only have that big carrot at Bob's once a night. And this is what you're just talking about. There is nothing doing right now for TCU on the ground, similar to last week.
Yeah, and really what I see is I see the center getting pushed back into the backfield. I see the right tackle losing his block. I see the left guard and the left tackle not being able to truly double team and get up to the linebacker in time. What all that means is Colorado's defensive line is manhandling TCU's offensive line right now in the running game.
And Colorado is short-handed in the middle of that defensive line. So 3rd and long. Hoover over the middle. Curtis, athletic catch. Athletic move. Does he have enough? Diving ahead. Needed the 30, and he got just enough to move the chains.
And you're going to see Curtis come right here from the inside, running a shallow route across the formation. Hoover's going to keep his eyes deep, realize everyone drops, get it underneath, whoop, make a move the chains. Sometimes throwing the ball short of the sticks can also get you bigger gains in the passing game.
Curtis twice with big gains on this drive. Both have gone for first downs. And that's more like it for TCU, 5 yards.
Yeah, 5 yards gets you a nice 2nd and 5 situation. Going back to that previous completion to Curtis, a lot of quarterbacks struggle with, oh, man, I don't want to throw the check down. I don't want to throw the 2-yard route. But if that is what the defense is telling you that you have to throw because of the way they play their coverage, you have to trust your guys, get them the football, and allow them to go to work. That's exactly what happened for Hoover there.
Oh, glory in the check down. Effective, though.
It is effective.
Kept this drive alive. Here's Barnes ducking the head. He's their downhill runner back in there tonight, missing a few games. And he sets up a 3rd and short, both with his runs. The first quarter of this game, nothing. Second quarter, 14 apiece. Nothing doing yet. Either way, as far as scoring in this 3rd quarter. Hoover brings Everhart in motion. He's a decoy. It's Barnes with his head down 3 straight times. That was all him on the first down. It's a different offense. It's a different offensive line when this guy plays.
Yeah, and you see this stat right here. It's that 2.4 yards a carry that's bothering me, but they're staying committed to it. And like I said, those 2 to 3 to 4 yard runs will turn into 7, 8, 9 yard runs once you get deep into the 4th quarter. As long as you let the defense know we're not going to stop running it, we're going to stay committed.
Now 4 carries in a row for Barnes, and he's toppled over. Ball juggled at the end, but he got it back. UNC game that TCU opened up with, yes. That was exactly the formula. Bang, 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 big hitter. Barnes went for over 100 yards.
Exactly, and it's kind of like with the Baltimore Ravens right now. You look at how they're using Derrick Henry, and it's say, well, you want to give this guy more carries. You can't just give him 7 touches or 15 touches. You want him to have 20, 25 touches. This offense isn't built to give the running backs that many touches because of the dynamic playmakers they have on the outside, but you have to at least commit to the run to give these guys enough touches to get rolling.
And they have with 4 snaps in a row. Now Barnes out, getting his hamstring stretched. So it's Battle toppled over on the outside. Swung down by DJ McKinney on what should be the final play of this 3rd quarter.
And again there, you look at Trent Battle eventually getting his way outside as they're going to get up to the ball and try to get them to jump off sides right before the end of the quarter.
Well, just like the first quarter, defense is dancing. Well, 2nd quarter of the first half was loud. Maybe we have that ahead in the 4th quarter. Tied at 14.
Coach, you mentioned to me at halftime wanting your offense to find a rhythm. What kind of rhythm do they need to find here late to win this thing?
Yeah, we're moving the ball a little better, running the football better. This is going to be a big 3rd down for us right here. Just got to continue to execute, stay away from negative plays. Penalties have hurt us, and just got to do our job.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Hey, thank you very much.
Well, those 3 picks tonight, plus forcing 2 punts, have set up this drive that brings up a big 3rd down. You agree with Sonny Dykes, right, about the run game?
Got to stay committed to the run right here. I wouldn't anticipate a run. They're spreading them out. Empty formation. Bringing the back in because they're looking for that man zone tell. They know they've got zone.
An extra guy up at the line of scrimmage. Couple drop out. It's McAllister, and he is plunged forward. That might have been enough to get him the first down. He was 2 yards short and then vaulted forward.
And you're going to see it's a nice smash combination. An under with a corner route. McAllister does a nice job not getting himself covered. And you talk about that sling forward. He's got control of the ball. It looked like the ground. The ball is, oh, my goodness. That might be a fumble.
You can see the nose moving a little bit.
It's about if the nose was moving before his hip came down, then that's a fumble. And we have to determine if there's a clear recovery there by Colorado.
Well, ruled short. And a timeout taken by TCU.
Timeout and a half.
So it does look like TCU recovered that after the fumble happened. So.
All right, so McAllister short, 4th and 2 ahead. And let's prove it. McAllister, ball on the deck.
Boom. There's a recovery.
There it is.
Straight off the killer streets of CB.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Looked like that one fan had rolled around in glitter.
He missed the Taylor Swift concert.
Right? Celebrating the new album. Dropping.
You're in the know. I see you, Connor.
Okay, so the reason this is a 4th and 2, Mike Pereira filled us into the break.
Correct. So they ruled it a fumble, and that the ball was recovered 2 yards shy of the line to gain. So they marked the ball where it was recovered by Carson Bruno, the right guard for TCU. And here they are going for it on 4th and 2.
It's a fake. Hoover lobs it. Wide open receiver. Touchdown. Lafayette Kayue with flags flying after the catch. For now, it's the first career touchdown for Kayue.
Result of the play was a touchdown. After play was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 12 for spiking the ball. 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That's number 12's first unsportsmanlike of the game.
So Kayue's first career touchdown catch counts. TCU has the lead. Penalties came out after the spike.
Can't wait to show you guys how he got so wide open after we come back from break.
So 21-14 after Kayue sprung free.
There it is. Can't get any more open than that. Kayue makes the catch, spikes the ball into the end zone. The ref doesn't love that.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. With RG3, Connor Onion, Alexa Landestoy. Fireworks second quarter. 1st and 3rd, nothing doing. First drive for TCU in the 4th. Kayue with a touchdown.
Looks like we might be in store for another one of those quarter eruptions.
It took 1:06 for TCU to tie the game late in the first half. And they've gone 21 unanswered points. And that won't help their cause. Kickoff out of bounds. And good field position for Colorado.
What you're going to see is Lafayette Kayue is going to run a a post route, and watch the linebackers and the safeties. Look at all their eyes when this play-action pass happens. Hoover's going to put it in the belly of the back, and look at all of their eyes. They're all here. No one is on the tight end, and look at all this space in the end zone. You don't get any more wide open than this. You got to make it easy for your guy. And I think, they'll take the Gronk spike penalty here. There's no spikes allowed in college football for celebrations. So our guy, Rob Gronkowski's got to talk to this tight end here, Kayue, to not do that again.
So save it for the next level.
And the crazy thing is that's the 9th different receiver to catch a pass for TCU tonight. Josh Hoover is getting everybody involved.
So a couple penalties on TCU. Have Colorado at midfield, and a flag is out behind that run. Draylon Miller starting the drive for the Buffaloes. Flag at the 50.
Holding. offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, first down.
You're going to see Xavier Hill. They're going to call this holding on him because he just gets his arms too wide on the outside of the defender. And when the defender tries to come back inside, right here, you're going to see as soon as the defender tries to come back inside, you see that fistful of jersey that he has. He's putting his shoulder pad all in his ear pad. That's called a hold, people. All right? You can't hold, obviously, and when that guy tries to shift back inside as an offensive lineman, you got to let him go. It's counterintuitive, but you have to do it.
Just undressed the guy in front of him, and Dallin Hayden on the ground gets some of that holding yardage back. Give him 8. For Colorado, 2 picks, 2 punts since they went up 14-0.
Yeah, it's been feast or famine for this Colorado offense so far today. It's either a touchdown, interceptions with Caden Salter having 3 of them, and then, of course, coming out of the half, once again, like Deion Sanders told us, just way too slow. And the reason it's a problem is because you know what you're supposed to be running in the first quarter and the third quarter when you come out of the locker room, and they're just not executing.
It's been a thing for them out of halftime in all of their Big 12 games so far. They have a 3rd down up ahead, chasing 7 points.
And right here, this is just another good job by our guy, Nnamdi Obiazor, really flowing to the play at a high level, making sure that he's meeting the running back at the line of scrimmage, even if it's out in the D gap. You don't see that very often nowadays from linebackers. They're not willing to kind of go for it right away, and he's doing that all night.
He went for it to bring up a 3rd down, and a strike from Salter to keep the drive alive. Sincere Brown, his long, rangy target.
And this is a 2-man route. Sincere Brown is going to run a deep cross across the formation. You see him get inside, stay inside, and then just work his way across. The reason only 2 receivers are out is because they wanted to protect Caden Salter in the backfield.
Right, that gave him the time to throw it to Sincere Brown for his first catch tonight.
And you rarely see like a 8-man protection in college football. But if you're not able to protect it, you need to give your quarterback a little bit more time. You bring the double edges in. You make sure you chip those defensive ends, and they run an angle route, which is a deep route and a deep cross across the formation, and it worked to perfection.
2 decades in the NFL for Pat Shurmur helping out. This is to the end zone. Separation. Miller. Touchdown.
You will not believe it, but this is the same exact play that they just ran on the other big play. I talked about that angle. He's going to slip inside and then get back outside, looking over the outside shoulder. He adjusts to the throw, and HBO helps a brother out. Caden Salter makes this throw, and it's way underthrown. But when the ball is in the air, it is yours. And Omarion Miller right there played it to a T.
He sure did. 2nd touchdown tonight for Omarion Miller, who goes to 4 catches, 75 yards with his 2nd score. We've got a little symmetry in our scoreline tonight. First quarter, nothing. Second quarter, fireworks. Third quarter, fourth quarter, mirroring that first half. Well, 1 shoe off for Deion Sanders, kicking it back in a close game, tie game. And the Big 12 is great theater, as we know. We saw a field storming at Nippert Stadium today, with Cincinnati beating Iowa State. Saw a blocked field goal, Baylor, Kansas State, with the Bears surviving by 1. Another barn burner here in Fort Worth, Robert.
It's a topsy-turvy Big 12 right now. Every game is close and contested. The teams and the difference between them is minimal. So the team that plays the best and has the most competitive maturity in the big-time moments will win these games. We'll see who that is between Colorado and TCU.
4-way tie for first place in the Big 12 last year. The margin for error after last week got a lot thinner after losing some late leads for TCU and Colorado.
Yeah, and for Josh Hoover, his competitive maturity at the end of this game against Arizona State wasn't what it needed to be, and it wasn't for Caden Salter either. So when you look at this team, and we talked about it in the 3 keys at the beginning of the game, vengeance. They have to come back with a vengeance, knowing, hey, these are the big-time moments, and I have to perform at the highest level to give my team a chance to win. We'll see which quarterback gets it done today.
Hoover has played turnover-free. Could use a little more help from his run game. They did get it going with Barnes last time on the field.
Yeah, and listen, Colorado's defense is getting more and more confidence every time they're running the football because they're starting to shut it down. And now we're sitting here in the fourth quarter, and for TCU's offensive line, they have to make a decision. Are we going to be able to actually own the line of scrimmage? Did you see them motion Barnes out, knowing that they have man coverage with the linebacker going out with him?
Hoover to the flat, and a short throw is incomplete. Intended target Barnes. Jeremiah Brown made the tackle in the run game, now makes a play in the pass. Third down.
And that was part of Kendall Browse, the offensive coordinator for TCU's thought process was, let me motion Barnes out, see who goes with him. If it's a linebacker or a safety, I know I have man coverage. And I think if you're Hoover, you've got better matchups all across the field right now than your running back out there running a stop route. He needs to work some of those other matchups here.
Colorado plays a ton of man. They bring some pressure here on the third down. Has an open man, Manjack, but couldn't hit him. Oh, that's one that Hoover usually hits at his feet. Fourth down.
Oh, and you're going to see the pressure come right here through the gap. They're playing it at depth, so it's a little bit harder for the offensive line to necessarily see it, and it forces Josh Hoover to throw the ball about a half second sooner than he really wanted to, and that's why Manjack wasn't able to get to it.
Well, and he's typically so good. Hoover is off that quick release, but the pressure from Stoutmire flashed in his face. And Colorado forces the punt, and Gibson takes a dive. So Colorado gets their stop. 21 all, inside 11 to go.
Right there, Quentin Gibson, the freshman. Sometimes you want to make a play so bad that you leave your legs behind. Trust me, I know. It happened to the best of us. But he's laughing and smiling. Good thing was he was able to keep possession of the football and not turn a mistake of tripping into a worse mistake.
We did have a flag come in late during that play.
Illegal formation. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
So with Gibson going backwards, Colorado accepts the penalty. Back it up 5 more.
Always make them punt it again, especially if it's not a big gain or a big return on your behalf. You might as well make them do it again. Make that punt team have to run down the field again. And a lot of times what we see happen in these situations is the return ends up being 2, 3, 4x because those guys are now a little bit tired.
The jelly leg thing for Gibson. You said you've been there?
I've been there before. Your brain starts to work and like, hey, I'm going to run through this gap and I'm going to set this guy up that way. And all of a sudden your legs are just like, not today, buddy. Not on this one.
You're calculating all of that? And then your legs give out? That seems like a lot of work.
It is a very complex game that a lot of these great athletes out here make look very, very simple.
Yeah, line dancing should be a lot simpler. Don't have to calculate all those things. So they punt it again. And Craw puts some good hang time on it. And it takes a Horned Frogs bounce. Oh, Gibson will pick it up. And he is slammed down at the 15. A bold decision. Might have saved a few yards on the roll. Worth the risk if you pick it up. And Colorado will have it 85 yards to go in a tie game.
Stop playing with me.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Wendy's. Get Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal. Limited time only. With RG3, Connor Onion, Alexa Landestoy with us on the sideline. Amarion Miller tied the score with a touchdown. 21 apiece. If you're looking for a family program, might I recommend Out of Pocket with RG3, available YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, we like to have a good time. If you like to have a good time, love sports, love talking about it and laughing and having a good time with myself and 86-time All-American Grete Griffin, come and join our huddle. Find us on YouTube, like and subscribe, and we'll see you there.
By the next time you listen, she'll be 87-time All-American. Well, good play in the backfield by Austin Jordan to start this drive on defense for TCU.
Yeah, and if you're TCU defensively, starting the drive with a nice TFL, putting Colorado behind the sticks and forcing a team that really doesn't want to be a drop-back team to actually drop-back pass can really work in your favor, especially here late in the game. And defensive coordinator Andy Avalos has been very aware of that. We want to attack on the defensive side instead of just sitting back and waiting to see what the offense is going to do.
Interior pressure, the big point of emphasis. They get interior penetration and run defense with Elarms or bringing up third down.
Oyewale, right here in the middle of the formation, is going to do a nice job getting on an edge of the offensive guy and then pushing vertical, allowing their entire front five, front seven of the defense to get into the backfield. And now Caden Salter and Colorado are forced into a massive long 3rd and 13.
Salter converted to Sincere Brown on a 3rd down and long on last drive's touchdown. This is into the flat, and Hakeem Williams down the sideline, shy of the 1st down. So 4th down for Colorado, and they'll kick it away.
And this is a situation where I feel like Deion Sanders and Pat Shermer are saying, you know what, our defense is playing well, we're going to trust them. Right, we're not going to put Caden Salter in a situation on 3rd and 13 where he's got to drop back to pass. We're going to throw a screen. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we'll punt it away and we'll play the field position game. You talk about those 4th downs and those 3rd and longs being a quarterback-driven decision. I think right there they're saying, you know what, we're going to throw this on our defense and try to see if they can keep us in this thing.
Especially at this part of the field.
Backed up in your own territory is definitely not where you want to go for it on 4th and 5.
A fair catch called for by Ed Small. There's a flag down. Back in Colorado territory, just past the line of scrimmage at the 25.
It's going to be a hold on Colorado.
See if TCU makes him kick again. Colorado just forced TCU to do that.
Holding. Offense number 24. Foul being forced from the end of the kick. 1st down.
Oh, right. End of the kick. So Sonny Dykes, of course, would accept it. Good Hands moment sponsored by Allstate. Celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. This was the one-hander for McAllister.
Yeah, we got to take that S off. That was the good hand moment. McAllister with the late hand. We talked about it. There's a nice job stacking the corner. Never lets them know that the ball is coming in there. And, of course, Josh Hoover finds the Wi-Fi connection and airdrops a beauty in there, too.
Bluetooth on always.
Always.
And 1st and 10 for the TCU offense. Tied at 21. He's given time. His time's running out. And he heaves it to the sideline. Well, was he outside the pocket? Did he get it to the line of scrimmage? Those are the questions that'll be asked.
He was outside the pocket. Yep. And he did get it past the line of scrimmage. So that's a legal play. And you're going to see here, improvisation is not a strength of Josh Hoover's. But he gets out of this, and he understands that if he doesn't get that ball out and past the line of scrimmage, a sack destroys most drives, whether it's in college football or in the NFL.
Oh, McNeil got hands on him, and then he's taken down with the 2nd man home, London Merritt.
This is going to be both guys off of the left side of your screen getting pressure, and you talk about London Merritt. Cleans it up. Gets off of the tackle. Once again, we're mentioning the tackle for TCU consistently getting beat to the punch by this Colorado defensive line.
And that helped Merritt pick up his 1st sack for the freshman. And Hoover on the run again, lowers the boom, and he's close to the sticks. Where's the spot? They got him out 2 or 3 yards short, still making the call. Either way, it's 4th down.
As we look at this, you're going to see his foot is out of bounds. So that's probably why they're marking him short, because that dive at the end was extreme effort. Here we are talking about, hey, you know, improv's not his best feature. And he said, you know what? The game is on the line right here. I'm going to give everything I possibly can for my team. And he scrambles almost for a 1st down.
Get him his Actors Guild card. There is a whistle. This is blown dead. With the play
Second
clock down
charge,
to
timeout and a half. TCU,
0.
30-second timeout.
Ooh, and in a tie game, TCU, late in this game, have burned their second timeout. Back after this for 4th down. A possible season-defining moment early in the Big 12 in this game tonight for Sonny Dykes, Deion Sanders. 4th down and 1 for TCU's offense.
Yeah, and this is the field position game we were talking about. Deion, they're backed up in their own territory. They're not going to try to go for it there on 4th and short. Now their defense comes up big here. They get the ball at midfield. So this could be one of those defining moments of the entire game.
A bunch of guys stacked up on the line of scrimmage. Hoover rolls it out to Rogers. 1st down and more. Flag comes flying as Rogers breaks free. He's got an escort carrying guys with him inside the 5. But there's a flag back near the 30-yard line. It's a 43-yard gain and a 1st down, but we check the flag.
Pass interference. Offense number 1. 15-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So they're going to call McAllister for the penalty, but they do a nice job getting this double inside snag with Rogers going to the flat.
Ooh, I don't know.
Man.
They called it on McAllister.
I don't understand how they're calling that on McAllister at all.
Mike, is that pass interference?
Well, that's what they called. I mean, you have the elements because the pass is caught beyond the line. There is contact, but there's 2 defenders that actually bump together. And you know, the defender, to me, not much of a block. You certainly can see why it was called, but I do think it's one that did not need to be called.
So you're going to watch the 2 defenders run into each other. Manjack does nothing to make that happen. And then McAllister is the second receiver who doesn't even touch the defensive back who was out of position, who ran into his own guy who was covering DJ Rogers. So I don't quite understand. They got that wrong. Quite frankly, that's the wrong call.
Well, and I wonder if the officials saw the collision and McAllister arriving a split second after, and that's where it came out.
That's the only.
Shouldn't be a foul.
Connor, that's very, you're being very lenient giving them that reasoning. But if you watch that play, anyone with eyes can see that the 2 defenders ran into each other. Even if though it was a pick play by design, the receivers did nothing wrong.
Well, so it should be 1st and goal. That hit a Colorado player. TCU recovers.
Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie.
One tight end had his big play wiped off. It's Curtis, the other tight end, with the recovery off of Mathis. And vengeance for TCU.
Incredible hang time on the punt.
Really on the field as the punt touched the Colorado player. Recovered by TCU. 1st down.
Hit him right in the shoulder. And Chase Curtis is Johnny on the spot. He's running from right here. And you'll see him. He sees it. He sees the ball. He gets the ball. That's what they say. Ball don't lie, even when the refs do.
Right off the nameplate of McKell. So, penalty that shouldn't have been. Wiped off a 1st and goal. Colorado, their 4th turnover of the night. They're most in the Deion Sanders era. Has them in a bad spot on defense.
And it was the worst time to have that turnover happen. You know, regardless of how we feel about the call on the offensive pass interference, Colorado's just had too many self-inflicted wounds right there, and that one was just bad luck.
So Josh Hoover back on the field. He switches his running back to the other side. And it's an inside run for Barnes, who burrows ahead with a tough earned 1st down run. Give him 4 yards.
Once again, putting yourself in 2nd and 6, entire playbook is open. You can continue to run the football, run the clock, run as much time off the clock as you want to, or you can get into your play action package, because being there at 2nd and 6, it's going to allow you to dictate to the defense what you want to do instead of being in 2nd and 9 or 10, which now puts you on your heels.
Hodge chasing around Manjack. The clue into the coverage, and it goes out to the flat for Barnes, who's shoved ahead. And is a yard short of the first down, 3rd down for TCU.
And again, Connor, you brought that up with the motion. They know, hey, we got this guy chasing him across the formation. We know we have man coverage. It allows you to get that ball to your back quickly in the flat, knowing that he's going to be picked by guys that he's trying to run through.
So Hoover diagnosing that perfectly. He did score on a tush push earlier, but now he backs out of there. On a 3rd down and 1. Inside 6 minutes to go. Hoover lobs it. Manjack grabs it off the bubble. Flag down at the 5. Flag down. Manjack, a touchdown.
And that's going to be defensive pass interference on number 4, Preston Hodge. But to Manjack, it did not matter.
Holding. Defense number 4. Penalty is declined. Result is a touchdown.
So you're going to see Manjack. He's going to run out, slip underneath, and get to the post on this touchdown pass. Being physical through the contact and the holding, and then uses one hand to catch it. No swag. Jack gets the touchdown.
Robert, his dad, Joseph Manjack's dad, taught him as a kid. He said, what do you blame if you drop a ball if you wear gloves? Gloves. You're not wearing those gloves.
Exactly.
No excuses.
And I want you guys to watch here to see what Josh Hoover himself and Manjack saw. Look, there is no safety in the middle of the field. These guys are going to blitz. It's called cover 0. He's going to drift in the pocket, knowing he's got to get the ball out fast and give his guy an opportunity to go make a play. Great diagnosis right there by Josh Hoover. Amazing job making the extra effort play by Joseph Manjack. And you can see how pumped up Hoover is, because he knows, hey, man, we got him right there when they thought they had us red-handed.
Look at the veins in his neck on that celebration. That touchdown pulsing through his veins to Manjack. 14 points off the turnovers. It was the 4th Colorado turnover off the punt. The Chase Curtis recovered, and Hoover cashes in.
And Connor, this is what I've been saying throughout this whole second half. Colorado was rolling. Their defense has been playing at a high level, keeping this TCU offense really off balance. But it's the turnovers that have really kept the defense on the field. And if you give Josh Hoover enough opportunities, he is eventually going to make you pay. And that's exactly what we've seen this entire game.
In this environment, Robert, with 4 turnovers, Colorado's lucky to still be in the game.
Exactly.
So Gibson takes it out. And nowhere to go. Slammed down before the 20-yard line. Start your Saturday with a bang. Number 1 Ohio State rolls into big noon with phenom Jeremiah Smith and rising star Julian Sayin leading the charge against Illinois. It all starts with big noon kickoff. Back in Champaign for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. Then it's Ohio State and Illinois only on Fox. If next week's big noon is like the last time they were in Champaign, sign us up. Game-winning field goal at the end.
Yeah.
High drama in Champaign last week.
High drama. And Big Noon, they're doing a great job over there, having a lot of fun, celebrating college football, and that's what it's supposed to be about. This is a great atmosphere here on a Saturday night in a blackout game, and we got ourselves one too.
Salter lets it rip. Miller has been his best target tonight with 2 touchdowns. The drive starts with a 5-yard gain.
And this is just a nice, easy, flat hook concept. Once again, what did they use to get Caden Salter in rhythm in the second quarter? Those types of plays. Easy, quick decisions. Get your receivers the ball. Allow them to feel it. Now you're here. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You got to start putting together some nice drives.
Exactly what he did on 3 touchdown drives tonight. But that TCU front swarms again to bring up 3rd down. Devin Deal setting the edge.
And you see that TCU defense is, enveloping the entire offense. Now, when they hand that football off, they are daring Colorado and Kaidon Salter to work the outside matchups and beat them throwing the football. Now you're sitting here on 3rd and 4. Probably got to put this football in the air. Maybe see a little bit of one of those dash concepts from Kaidon Salter that he likes to have with the structure rolling out of the pocket.
He's been comfortable rolling to the right. This season, the snap surprised him. Ball is on the ground. Salter throws it away. There's a flag down, and what a mess we got here.
Before the snap, false start, offense number 9, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
They called the false start on Sincere Brown because after that shift, they snapped the ball while guys were still moving. So it honestly saved them from such a chaotic play. Here's Sincere Brown. He's still moving before everybody gets set, and the ball is snapped already. You can't do that. So it saves them in one sense. It's still a penalty, but they're not as far back as they would have been after Kaidon Salter got hit right there. And I don't think the ball got past the line of scrimmage when he was trying to throw it away.
No, so new life in a way for Colorado on a 3rd and 9. Pressure on Salter, falling away into tight coverage, and the turn is made. It's a 1st down. Heike Williams worked back, slipped out, and Colorado does convert.
You're going to see this. Heike Williams makes this catch with Nnamdi Obiizer on him, and Obiizer thinks the play is over, and he knocked it down. But you got to play all the way through the ground, and Heike Williams makes the catch, gets vertical, and now Colorado has a new set of downs.
Wow, one of TCU's hardest working players, too. So the penalty does save Colorado, and Dallin Hayden is dragged down.
Man. Still blown away by that last play. You're going to see Kaidon Salter make this throw, and Obiizer comes through, thinks he knocks it out, but he got tricked like an Instagram filter right there, and Heike Williams just keeps rolling with it. Hey, man, at the end of the day, Heike Williams made the play to keep his team on the field, and you love to see that for him, a guy who transferred in from Florida State, hasn't had a ton of opportunities here at Colorado, but that receiver room is extremely deep, and now if you're Kaidon Salter, you have to feel confident that these guys are going to continue to make plays for you here in crunch time.
Off play action. Salter has it knocked down, and it is Obiizer. No Instagram tricks there on the filter. He knocks it away, 3rd down.
Obiizer made sure he knocked that one down. You see him right here, his eyes fully on the ball, sees it, feels it hit his hand, tracks it to the ground. Hey, he learned from his first mistake, and he put that ball 2 thumbs down.
He said no mercy this time. So it was 3rd and 9 a moment ago. TCU looked to be off the field. Now can they get off the field? 3rd and 11. Clock is getting late. Crowd is getting loud. One score game in the Big 12. Here's a 3rd and 11. Pressure. Salter fires one-on-one, and that is incomplete. Sincere Brown hemmed to the sideline by Glover.
And you can see he's definitely out of bounds, but we talked about this earlier in the game. Look how much space he has on the sideline. There's none. When if you're a young receiver, understand that you have to save 5 yards on the sideline for your quarterback to be able to drop that ball in. If he had stacked the DB and saved him some more space, he would have made that catch. And now Colorado is being aggressive and going to go for it here on 4th and 11.
3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. And here is a timeout. Wow, I was shocked to see the offense still out there for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, I don't love that, especially burning a timeout there. In this situation of the game, I would punt the ball away. I know, listen, there's 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. You got to trust that your defense can get that stop. Oh, it's an official review, so no timeout has been called. They're going to review this, whether it was a catch or not, I'm guessing. We got to go back and look at it ourselves to see if he had that 1 foot in college football. All you need is 1 foot. You don't need both. So here we are again. Ball's coming out. He's still in bounds. 1 foot down. Oh, that's going to be close. He has that 1 foot in bounds, but it's a matter of if he has control of the football. And from that angle, we can't truly tell. So let's look at it from this one. He's got one hand on the ball. Nah, his foot is off the ground, and is that foot?
The right heel in?
Yeah, that. You look at the line again here. His feet are in before he touches the ball. So now it's a matter of there's the catch. His feet are out. That's an incomplete pass.
Well, Mike, Robert and I agree. Is this 3 against 0 here?
Yeah, I don't have the nerve to go against you. But, you know, it is a tight play, and I think it's a good stop. The question is that heel still on the ground when he gets control? Really hard control when it's a one-handed catch like this. When does he actually gain control? It's kind of one of these where I do think it's close, but I don't think it would be enough to be clear and obvious and change.
After further review, the ruling on the field is upheld. 4th down.
Mike didn't have the nerve for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, I understand Mike's hesitation there because earlier in the game we thought for sure, hey, they're going to overturn the play earlier in the game, and they didn't, even with that video evidence there. So they reviewed it, and Colorado is no longer going for it, which I think is the right decision. You know, if you don't get this on 4th and 11 in your own territory, you're already giving TCU an opportunity to go up by 10 points, by 2 scores, and you have to trust your defense. It's going to be everything on the line for Robert Livingston and this defense to get a stop with Colorado having 3 timeouts.
Damon Greaves had pressure in his face, and that ball flutters just inside opposing territory. It was not touched. It just came off his foot funky for a 27-yard punt.
Yeah, if you're Damon Greaves, this can never happen. Oh my, he kicked that thing like a receiver running across the middle to get in alligator arms because he could feel that pressure coming in on him. And that is a moment where you need your punter to get everything into it, like some of the greatest punters we've ever seen, the Thomas Morsteads of the world. Get that ball high and deep. Push this TCU offense deep down the field. That didn't happen, and now it puts even more pressure on this Colorado defense.
Greaves felt the footsteps of Marcus Deal bearing down on him. So Hoover and TCU looking for a put-away drive, and a first down to start it. And Major Everhart carries the pile with him into plus territory with a first down.
Yeah, and you're going to see he's going to come in motion, and we always call this, if nobody goes, I throws. The defender is late, so he's got leverage. We're going to get it to him and allow him to get outside and make a play for us. Really nice job there by Josh Hoover getting an accurate throw, and a really nice play right there by Major Everhart to make the play.
Colorado's first timeout.
Colorado takes their first timeout. Still the 2-minute timeout to come. Ram Power Player is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. It's Josh Hoover.
Yeah, Josh Hoover's been slinging the ball all over the field today, getting nice, easy touchdowns like there to Lafayette. And then, of course, he's had the one to Manjack versus cover 0 and earlier to McAllister. He has been really not truly in sync today, but when you can go 22 of 32 for 254 yards and 3 touchdowns on an off day, that shows you the caliber of quarterback that he is.
Creeping into that Heisman conversation for you again?
Yeah, he is creeping back into that based off of the way that they finished this game. But when you look at his completions, getting completions to 11 different receivers. That's what we talked about earlier in this offensive, in Kendall Browse's offense, their offensive coordinator for TCU. It has answers. And if you're the receiver that the answer is supposed to go to, Hoover's going to get it there.
He leans on Barnes. And we'll either force the 2-minute timeout or a Colorado timeout. It's a Colorado timeout, their second. Alexa, you got more on Josh Hoover?
Yeah, and talking to Josh Hoover this week, he said back when he was 9 years old, he remembers telling his baseball coach, when it's the bottom of the 7th, no outs, bases loaded, put me into pitch. I wanted the ball in my hands in the big-time moments, and guys, we're seeing that today. Him showing poise, leading this TCU team down the field. Kendall Briles saying he's a great player, but even better person. So since he was 9, Connor, he's loved having the ball in his hands.
Alexa, this feels like a 3-inning type save for him. Outside of the 2-minute timeout, put him in there in the 7th inning, go close this game for your team.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. That's what a Heisman level quarterback would do. They would find a way to help their team win the game when it's not perfect. And it hasn't been perfect today for TCU on offense or defense. They've made enough plays to keep themselves not just in this game, but obviously have the lead. But you need your quarterback here, Josh Hoover. As Kendall Briles called him, he has to be him in this moment.
Well, he had 2 late turnovers last week. Josh Hoover against Arizona State. Would he be shy, he was asked. He said, absolutely not. I made 1 bad throw, that was it. He makes a good decision here. Runs for a first down. And comes that much closer to that relief pitcher-like save, bringing it to the 2-minute timeout.
And they ran this similar play to Everhart for the big gain on first down. This time they cover it. He does the pump. He gets vertical. And Josh Hoover does what he has to do to get the first down.
Fox College Football is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Oh, the emotions flying. The rhythm of this game has been fascinating. It was vanilla in the first quarter, and then, boom, I don't know, banana split, something like that, something more exotic. And then vanilla again in the third quarter, and nothing but exciting Big 12 football in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's really come down to the play of the quarterbacks. Caden Salter made a lot of mistakes today, and they're still only down by 7, and Josh Hoover is making the necessary plays here at the end of the game to help TCU close this thing out.
A 1 timeout for Colorado, and Barnes and TCU will make him use that final timeout with 1:55 to go. Our game summary is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years.
You see the Gronk spike there that caused the penalty, but then Caden Salter making the nice throw, giving his guy an opportunity, Omarion Miller. And then this, one of the plays that absolutely changed the game. The ball falling off of Colorado and Chase Curtis picking it up. And of course, it's Josh Hoover versus cover 0 and no swag Jack. Joseph Manjack, the 4th, coming up with the big play to put them out in front. It's been a topsy-turvy type of game, just like the Big 12 has been a topsy-turvy type of league. Everybody's beating everybody, and the competition couldn't be closer. How this game finishes will determine whether Colorado really has a chance to stay in the race, and if TCU can get themselves right back towards the forefront.
7-2, the 4-way tie last year, expected to be similar finish this season. Saw one undefeated go down earlier today with Iowa State in the Big 12. And Barnes ahead, driving the pile past the 20. And Colorado cannot stop it.
You know, we were talking earlier in the game, Connor, about why are they running the football? You know, they're averaging 2.4 yards a carry. Well, it's in these moments that you continue to stay committed to the run game, because now here in the 4th, you know the runs that are going to get your offensive line going the most. And if I'm the quarterback, I'm in the huddle right now, Josh Hoover telling my guys up front, hey, you want to end this game? You want to end it the right way? You want to get our bike back from when we got bullied a few years ago? Let's do it right here and go get this first down.
The first down could end it. 5 yards to get. Hoover out the back door. Foot race is chopped down by Preston Hodge. So now the clock will wind inside a minute with no timeouts for Colorado.
Holy cow, look where Preston Hodge comes from. Gets all the way across the formation off of this zone read because he's tracking the tight end, and then knifes inside, goes and gets Josh Hoover's legs. That right there is Heisman level effort from Preston Hodge, preventing TCU from getting that first down.
It sure was. And now interesting, remember the starting kicker for TCU, Kyle Lemmerman, is out for a 3rd straight game. Nate McCashlin missed a 30-yarder in the first half. So this is not automatic territory. And a timeout for TCU with 26 seconds left. So it'll be on their second-string kicker to try to put this game away.
And if you're Sonny Dykes, you have to ask yourself that question. It's 4th and 6. Do I trust my quarterback to go in this game by going to throw the football, or do I trust my backup kicker who just missed the first kick of the game early in the game wide right? I know if I was a betting man, I wouldn't put the kicker out there, personally. I would trust my quarterback here on 4th and 6 to try to go get this instead of having my kicker kick a 38 to 39-yard field goal.
But the range is a little bit more limited for McCashlin, and this looks like another quarterback decision to put Josh Hoover back out there.
And you also have to realize, like, guys, there's 26 seconds left in the game. You're also saying, I'm going to trust my quarterback. If we get this first down, awesome. And if we don't, I'm going to trust my defense that this team can't go the length of the field in less than 20 seconds.
So you're not thinking about a hard count timeout situation for TCU. They have no timeouts. Plus, they just took one. So they can't do the back-to-back timeouts in one team period. So a 4th and 6. And Josh Hoover down to 5 on the play clock.
He just said slow go, which is a slant and go to the outside receiver.
He pumps. He fires. He has McAllister. He's in the back of the end zone. He's in. Riverboat for Sonny Dykes, and it pays off with a touchdown.
Woo! What a throw. What a catch by Eric McAllister. You could hear it on the audio. Josh Hoover say slow go, and we're going to see if McAllister did make this catch. Jumps up, gets the foot in, has control of the football. That is a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. And I can't wait to break it down for you here to show you exactly how he got to that play call and that route to his best receiver.
Sonny Dykes just hit 21 on blackjack. Rolling him. Touchdown on a 4th and 6. Kept his offense out there and sealed the game.
When he makes the double. Wow, so you're going to see again, no middle safety. Hoover comes up and he tells his outside receivers to run a slant and go. And watch, they're bringing this cover 0 pressure. He drifts in the pocket again, and look at this. He has the DB beat. He gets the ball up and down quickly, recognizes the coverage, diagnoses it, tells his receivers what the check is at the line of scrimmage. This is why I've been raving about Josh Hoover all day, because he is playing at an NFL level when it comes to his checks. Listen to him.
So, Robert, there was no code to that. He said the exact route.
Maybe it's because I know Kendall Browse's offense because he was our inside receiver coach when I was playing at Baylor. But with universal terminology for slant and go is slow go across every offense. Just awesome to be able to break that down for you guys, and you can see the level of execution that TCU had there at the very end when it was needed the most. Josh Hoover came through.
So you start looking ahead for TCU. Looks like they'll check the first box in the Big 12. K-State lost a heartbreaker today. Baylor blocked a field goal at the end. They get the Bears after that. You got a couple of ranked matchups in there with Iowa State and BYU that'll probably define the season.
Yeah, and then the thing is, when you look at K-State played Baylor tougher than anyone anticipated today because Avery Johnson is one of the better dual threats in the country, and they seem like they kind of figured it out. Baylor can score 70 anytime they want, pretty much. So for this TCU team, every single step along the way is a difficult matchup because these teams do not want to give up their standing in the Big 12. So that's why I was so impressed with their ability today to stay committed to the run game because it's going to pay dividends for them here down the stretch.
Well, they forced 4 turnovers. A bold call on 4th and 6 from Sonny Dykes. And they get some vengeance from the loss here 2 years ago against Colorado. And it's their 6th straight home win.
What a game, Connor. Honor to call this one with you. Thank you for stepping in for Jason Benetti today. You did a phenomenal job. Hopefully the fans at home got to see just how special of a quarterback Josh Hoover is. And when this TCU offense truly gets healthy, they're going to be a nightmare for a lot of teams out there as they continue to embrace the darkness.
Well, Josh Hoover got a couple of those guys back today, and it paid. He's with Alexa right now.
Well, Josh, talk about riding the wave, ups and downs in this game. You're down 14-0, put out there in crucial 4th downs. There was penalties. What were you guys telling each other in the huddle, in the locker room to stay the course in this one?
There's no panic. I mean, that's our mentality. We're not going to panic. We know we've got good players. We know we can make plays. And we know if we do that, we're going to give ourselves a chance to make plays down the stretch to win the game. So we don't ever panic. We just keep playing hard, doing our job. That's all we do.
Well, we saw getting the addition of Eric McAllister back in here healthy. Take me into that last play. I see the smile on your face. We were going live at what you were saying at the line of scrimmage. Take us into it.
We made it up on the line of scrimmage. They were zeroing us. We went slant and go to the outside guy. I mean, we've done slants all day, and Eric made a great play. Offensive line gave me enough time to get it off. So just so proud of our guys. What a win. We never wavered. We never panicked, like I said. Just continue to fight, and we got a lot of things to clean up, but if you got heart like that, you got a chance. So I'm proud of our guys.
Before I let you go, let's talk about your defense, forcing 4 turnovers and what they did today against the Colorado offense.
Yeah, they gave us a chance all day. They hung in there. We weren't playing very well, and they gave us a chance. So proud of those guys, man, and our offensive line. Can't say enough about them. They fought all day, give me opportunities, and lastly, most importantly, I want to thank the good Lord.
First Big 12 win of the season. Congratulations, Josh.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Alexa, Josh, thank you. He made it up at the line of scrimmage, just like he did in his hometown in Heath, Texas. Throwing it over the tree branches like he did to McAllister there to win the game. We'll be right back. Wrap things up from Fort Worth after this. 35-21, the final. TCU wins it after Colorado staked out to a 14-0 lead. Hoover on the comeback trail to 1-1 in the Big 12. 35-21 TCU. They outscore Colorado 35-7 after Colorado staked out to a 14-0 lead. And that man, Josh Hoover, has many fans in this place. And even after last week, no self-doubt. A couple turnovers to end last week's game, and they come right back out at home and beat Colorado by 14. So we welcome you back into the booth here in Fort Worth. Alexa Landestoy with us tonight. RG3, I'm Connor Onion. It would have been very easy for confidence to be shaken, all those things for TCU last week, but saw none of that.
Yeah, you didn't see any of it. It's like last week, we talk about that competitive maturity. Josh Hoover has 2 turnovers at the end of the game that really cost his team, but he came into this and said, you know what, that's not who I am. This is who I am. Late in the game, making checks at the line of scrimmage versus cover 0, 2 touchdown passes in gotta-have-it moments. He showed that competitive maturity is who he is, and if they have that for the rest of the season, when you look at the way the Big 12 has played out, they're going to need plays like that at the end of almost every single game to compete in this league this year.
Confirmed what you said with Alexa, too. Josh Hoover did. He made it up at the line of scrimmage. That game-winning touchdown, incredible.
No, it was awesome. And for Colorado, they got to figure out who their quarterback is still at the end of the day. Now they may have to go to a guy like Juju Lewis. But tonight is all about TCU and the fireworks that they put up at the end of the game.
Great working with you, my man.
Appreciate you, brother.
Robert Griffin III, Alexa Landestoy down on the field. For Darren Foster and Bo Garrett leading our crew, I'm Connor Onion saying goodnight from deep in the heart of Texas. TCU wins it by 14 to get to 1-1 in the Big 12.